Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I appreciate y'all patience. What's good?
Hey, JR.
Oh, okay. You got a little mobile mic. What's that?
Well, um, TikTok shop got a chokehold on me about 2 months ago, so why not?
Well, I guess that's you and my mother too, because my mother does TikTok, and she had sent me some. Said she want me to wear it, but I said, "Is this at least stainless steel? I don't want to break out now." She said, "Yeah, I would have sung for TikTok shop. I want you to wear it every day." I said,
Hey, I've been hitting licks on the TikTok shop though.
"Six."
Some of my products that I get regular price are a lot cheaper. I'm just trying to figure out if they dupes or not. Like are they real? We'll figure it out.
I mean, cookies. Is that some Stella Rose? Oh shit.
What's going on, Miss Taken? How you doing, ma'am? It's good to see you.
I'm good.
I can't hear nobody. Am I tripping?
Uh-oh. Got TikTok and failed you, huh?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Y'all can hear everybody?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I just can't hear y'all.
Won't you type in the back chat?
Well, I can hear you, JR. Is anybody else just not talking or am I tripping?
No, nobody else is talking. Somebody else talk for. Okay, somebody sing for it.
Cookie, are you drinking Stella Rose?
I can't hear Hank.
You can't hear him. Okay, refresh then and come back
Okay.
in.
Okay. I'll
Can you guys hear me?
unplug the mic if I have to, but I'm gonna refresh.
Yeah, we can hear you. All right. You said my mic is kind of low. True. Let me see if I can try to correct it. I might have to put out my portable TikTok mic as well, huh? Let's see what we got here. Mic. So how y'all doing on this Sunday?
It's all good.
Good.
Last Sunday of the year.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm exhausted.
Exhausted?
I can hear y'all now.
Okay, there we go. We cooking now. How we cooking? Struggle streaming, y'all. Good to see you, Miss Taken. Hope everything's taken care of. Nothing wrong with that. Naya, the first time here.
Yes, appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Okay. Might have to call Aisha or and White on the show. Got Naya on the show. No?
What's up, everyone?
Okay. Guess he ain't catch that one, huh? True.
Yeah, man. It's been wild these last few weeks, but good stuff.
Actually, I think Naya been watching. I think he been tuning in. You been watching all the shows? Or just some of them?
Just some of them.
Some of them, okay.
Yeah.
All right. You ain't got no beef with nobody, nothing, do you?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No.
You decide to choose violence, and I have to make sure.
No, I came on to peace.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. That's what Cookie, Mistaken Naomi like. They like peace. Bo, she's like a little bit of chaos, and Miss Pearl, she like to smoke too. So I think them the two.
Excuse me?
I'm on the phone.
I like peace,
Okay,
but I turn up if you turn up with me.
there we go.
Facts.
It's Sunday, so I'm gonna rebuke that last statement that you made for me. I'm gonna expect a retraction by the end of this conversation.
Okay. Hey, True, how's my mic now? Is it better? Okay.
No, because you talking crazy.
It's better.
Yeah, Anyhow, man, good to see you guys again. If you haven't already, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you catching us on the replay, hit the like button, and also make sure you subscribe as well. Got an excellent show. Why the eldest daughter matters. Men love her, but can't handle her. So that's an interesting title, isn't it, Cookie? I see you frying your face.
It was kind of, it took me aback. I hadn't seen the thumbnail yet, so
You said it took you back. Why?
I don't know. It was just random, I think. I hadn't been here in a while. Cut me some slack, JR. You know I try to control my face, but it don't always happen like that. Either way, I'm gonna be a part of it. I promise.
I actually thought this was a very interesting topic. I came across it. It was kind of interesting. The eldest daughter, the oldest daughter. Never really thought about that. Have you guys factor that in when it comes to dating both man and woman? No. So as a dater, a woman, have you factored in you being the elder, the oldest, that you might have be different from your other siblings? And men, have you guys noticed anything with dating the eldest versus the youngest? What comes to mind?
They all the same. Miss Pearl.
I'm sorry. that depends. It could be subjective, right? Sometimes the eldest or the oldest is more responsible, possibly, depending on how they were raised. Or they can be the ones with high anxiety because they had that early responsibility. Like some middle children, they say are attention seeking because they didn't get the necessary attention, right? And then they say the oldest child, the youngest child, the parents are just so tired by that child that they're kind of like reckless. So I don't know if it necessarily depends on if the person embodies those type of, I guess, aspects of their birth order. But I mean, you're actually true. Like it shouldn't matter, but for some people, it actually does.
Responsible or bossy?
In terms of the oldest,
Yeah.
again, that could be subjective. Sometimes, a lot of the times, they're bossy because I think their identity is wrapped with that high responsibility, and it's kind of like a struggle for them to let go. But again, that's subjective. Like not every oldest child, middle child, and youngest child is like that. But a lot of people fit in those categories. It's psychological, and that's why I say it's subjective, depending on how they were raised. But
Miss
I agree
Pearl,
with you.
I love your balance. I love how balanced you are. You just, you're like a politician. You polished, not one side, not another side. You try to find a middle ground. That's respect. Respect.
Always two sides to the coin. Like, what we doing here? What we talking about?
What's going on, Mont?
What up, y'all?
Yeah, just in time, man. We're talking about the eldest daughter right now, the oldest daughter. Came across a couple clips, man. I wanted to present to the panel. But have you had an experience with dating the eldest when it comes to the daughter versus the youngest? You notice any different patterns? Anything stands out?
No, I never. When you say oldest daughter, like oldest with other girls, or just the oldest child in general?
No, just with other daughters. The eldest daughter. The title is Why the eldest daughter matters, and men love her but can't handle her.
I can't say that I can. I may have experience with it, but I never paid it no mind if I do. So I had to dig and think about that.
Go ahead, Cookie.
I think it depends on the age group, like when they were born, because I grew up in a house with 4 daughters, right? I'm the second oldest, and my oldest sister had a somewhat of responsibility. I think it all starts with the parents. She watched us, but not to the point where it was enough to make her bossy, or because my mom was a homemaker, if that makes sense. So I think that the elder daughter did have a lot of different responsibilities, but it shouldn't be to the point where it affects her dating life, unless it was like a single mom situation or a single dad situation. But yeah, I'm a product. I'm a middle child, so I don't see men having issues with my sister. She's actually pretty submissive, maybe more than me.
You talking about the one that came on here?
No,
Oh, okay.
that's my younger sister. She's
Okay.
also a middle child, but she got the uh the bitter half of the middle child, because I was a middle star child. Like, I was running track and I was winning everything, so my dad was like, I love you, I love you. She was more like the girl in the mirror, and my youngest sister, she just did what she wanted. But my eldest sister, she's 6 years older than me, so she kind of like had her own thing going on. It's kind of weird, but she's older than me enough to just like be completely separate from the last three cluster group. So I don't know.
Well, I can tell you one thing: Coach Z is trending in the right direction, man. When we look at these things, so let's go ahead and keep it going. Anybody else want anything to add before I play this clip?
I was just gonna say I am the youngest girl. It's three girls and my brother's the youngest. Um, and there's definitely a difference. My oldest, the oldest sister, she definitely took on the mother role when we were younger, especially during the generation of latchkey kids. So, she had to be the one that was responsible for, me and my younger siblings. So she was braiding hair. She learned how to cook early and like all of the things. I would definitely say she is the more submissive one out of like all of us. And as the youngest, I think I'm the more adventurous, the more, like, let's get in it, kind of personality. Tomboy, just, yeah. My middle sister, I'll say she's a balance of both. Very smart, very, career driven, but also takes care of her family, make sure her family's straight. So it's kind of like a balance in the middle. So yeah.
This is not dating experience, but from my experience of just kind of knowing that dynamic, it can go either or. So it can be the oldest child is super responsible and they just used to being a mom early, or that was somebody's first child where they was with the grandmom and they was running out, sneaking out, and going doing crazy things. Yeah, I know some experiences where the oldest child was the one who had a baby early, and it's almost a completely separate lifestyle from the new kids that person had, and they was raised completely different. The new group of kids are like, orderly and all that type of things, and the oldest one, it almost seems like it was raised by a different parent or it didn't have a parent. So
the oldest one could be the oldest sibling too are the meanest. Like, even though she's just one of the things that I noticed, even with my two children, my daughter is the oldest, and she was mean to her little brother. My sister, she's sweet. She's like one of those that Sour Patch Kid commercial where they be like, oh, so sweet, and then like, that's definitely her. But I think the greatest impact, to be honest, is just the environment itself. That will determine how not just the oldest kid, but how each kid responds to the environment that they're in. Because we all grew up in the same environment, but our response to that environment we grew up in has impacted each of us differently. And we can literally see it in each other's relationship. Like, we'll talk amongst each other and we can identify like, oh, that's probably because of X, Y, and Z, how we respond within a relationship. So the environment, I think, has the biggest impact as opposed to the order of birth.
So I'll piggyback off of that and say the environment, and then also as far as like, so I'm the oldest of 8, and so from my biological mother's side, I was definitely cooking and cleaning and everything by the time I was like 5 or 6. And so my life compared to my siblings' life, my one of my middle sisters, she is right now, she's a stripper. Um, and so, and then I have another younger sister. She's not involved with her children, but my youngest sister, who I had a little bit more impact on differently because we were in a different environment. She's married right now, and she's new in her marriage. She's in her mid-20s, and she's God fearing type of situation. So we're all very different. Even so, one of my younger sisters, you can't talk to her about submission. She's like, I make my own money, I pay my own bills. He's gonna fall in line. And she's very, very like strict in that, if that makes sense. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it with her. So it's different because like with me, I have more of a traditional submissive type of mindset. But it was like if I was raised to be a mom and a wife from childhood. And then when I got older, that I knew that that's what I was going to be. And with them, it was different because there was like a lack of responsibility, And so with my youngest sister, there was definitely a balance of responsibility and free time, if that makes sense.
Go ahead. Now you want to add something?
Yeah, I think it's all based on how they was technically raised. I don't really see a major difference between the second oldest or the first oldest. It's all based on how they're raised. If they have a proper structure, proper, you know, home structure, then the oldest child would be a responsible adult. But if that's not the case, then they'll be chaotic just like everybody else. That's not gonna add to that.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get into this clip, man, and this is what this young brother had to say. And we'll see if there's some truth in it and see if we can unpack it.
There is always going to be marriage material, and here is why. Now, granted, she hard-headed, she bossy, she swears she in charge, but she's good at what she does. Growing up, she had a lot of responsibility on her plate, and unfortunately, it was usually out of obligation. I guarantee you, she has an A-type personality. She keeps schedules. She keeps a bunch of planners everywhere. She probably goes in and out of a post-it note phase. It depends on where she is in her life. But one thing that stands out, she handles business. This is a competent woman. You want that type of woman in your life. The biggest issue you're gonna run into with her is she does not know how to take a break. She don't know how to sit her ass down. Being the boss will never leave her, so you can go ahead and let that go. But the 3 things you're gonna struggle to help her learn how to do is number 1, learning how to take a day off. Number 2, learn how to ask for help. And number 3, learn how to stop filling her day up with work, because as the oldest daughter, she learned how to pick up where everybody else lacks. So it's not that she thinks you're incompetent. It's just the fact that if it doesn't get done, it still got to get done, and she's gonna go ahead and do it. You got to verbally tell her, I got it. You got to over communicate. You got to let her know what the plan is. Otherwise, she thinks there's no plan, and she will make a plan. But the upside to that is when you do slip up and there's no plan, there's a plan. The greatest gift you can give to her is peace of mind and reassurance. Take care of that oldest daughter, and she will forever take care of you.
So what are you guys thinking? It's true?
I know a few women just like that. Exactly like that. They not my type because they don't listen, but everything else, they exactly like that. Yep.
Okay, so you said they don't listen. So you disagree with what he's basically
Just like, no, he said that. He
Oh.
said they ain't gonna listen, but yeah.
I mean, I was to send her my way. I'm available. But I'm joking. Yeah, when he said balls teeth, that would be a little bit hard for me to adapt with.
Okay, why is that?
I mean, because I might have to change her mindset. Look, you could be bossy, but when I'm around, you gotta at least learn how to ease it down with me a little bit. I don't like when people talk to me, especially ladies talk to me any type of bossy way. It's I don't move, I don't respond properly to that. But if you talk to me gentle and soft, you could get me to move mountains if you talk to me gentle and soft. But you talk to me bossy, I'll be like, I don't know who you're talking to, but you got to leave.
Go ahead, Coach Z.
I mean, I think the definition of bossy is important here, because when I think about my eldest sister, even though she's autistic, she's assertive and efficient. And for somebody that's not efficient and assertive, that would come off as bossy. So I think it depends on the man. If the man is looking for an upgrade to his lifestyle, where everything's efficient and assertive, then she would be welcomed. But just, defining the person as bossy because they know how a household is ran, you might be missing out. That's all I'm saying.
You think that's what he was saying?
It just depends on him. I don't know him personally, but it sounds like he was like, at the end, he spoke very positively about the eldest daughter. So if you can get past what you deem as bossy, she'll take care of you. Is that not what he said either? Like, am I tripping, or is that what he said?
I'm gonna play it one more time. I'm gonna play it one time just so we can.
That is what he said.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it one time so y'all can listen, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into it.
Daughter is always going to be marriage material, and here is why. Now, granted, she hard-headed, she bossy, she swears she in charge, but she's good at what she does. Growing up, she had a lot of responsibility on her plate, and unfortunately, it was usually out of obligation. I guarantee you, she has an A-type personality. She keeps schedules. She keeps a bunch of planners everywhere. She probably goes in and out of a post-it note phase. It depends on where she is in her life. But one thing that stands out, she handles business. This is a competent woman. You want that type of woman in your life. The biggest issue you're gonna run into with her is she does not know how to take a break. She don't know how to sit her ass down. Being the boss will never leave her, so you can go ahead and let that go. But the 3 things you're gonna struggle to help her learn how to do is, number 1, learning how to take a day off. Number 2, learn how to ask for help. And number 3, learn how to stop filling her day up with work, because as the oldest daughter, she learned how to pick up where everybody else lacks. So it's not that she thinks you're incompetent. It's just the fact that if it doesn't get done, it still got to get done, and she's gonna go ahead and do it. You got to verbally tell her, I got it. You got to over communicate. You got to let her know what the plan is. Otherwise, she thinks there's no plan, and she will make a plan. But the upside to that is, when you do slip up and there's no plan, there's a plan. The greatest gift you can give to her is peace of mind and reassurance. Take care of that oldest daughter, and she will forever take care of you.
So it just depends on that phase that you can get by as a man. Like, if it just is all about your choice and what you're willing to deal with to get to the ultimate goal, I guess is what I was trying to say. Because he used the word bossy, but then on the other end of the spectrum, he was like, well, hey, in the end though, you ain't got to worry about backup plans because she's already going to have one. So for me, it's kind of like, that's a plus.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, who he described, I'm looking at my sibling lineup is my middle sister. All of us, I'll say the common thread is competency. Every single one of us, the girls. Notice I'm saying girls. My brother, he's the youngest and he was the only boy. So his experience was very different. He was the one that always got taken care of because there were 4 women in the house. So he got taken care of. Very different. But the competency piece is all of the girls in the family are very competent. But I would say who he described in terms of, just organization skills, got multiple things going on. That definitely is my middle sister. My oldest sister, complete opposite. All she wanted to do was be a wife. And that was ever since she was like younger. She wanted to be an at-home mom. That was her. hands down. So she takes care of her family. Like I said, her kids are taken care of, her husband's taken care of. But I'll say she's like my mom, which I think in some ways is very good. But in other ways, she doesn't speak up when she needs to. And I'm not saying she has to be rah-rah. I'm just saying she doesn't speak up when she needs to. So what he described is completely opposite of what my older sister is, outside of just being competent. The rest of the stuff, she's very like laid back. But to us as siblings, she was evil. She was very mean when we were younger. So, but when it came to her boyfriends, completely opposite to the point we would get mad because of how nice and soft she would act towards her boyfriends, but was very mean to us growing up.
So do you think in the end, when we think about what he said, do you think that maybe even though we saw her as soft, because I have the same situation, that in certain situations with him, when she's like, nah, I need to do the dishes now, or whatever the reason is, that it would come off as bossy to him. Do you think that he would be sitting almost like in our shoes, the way that he saw her when they got real deep off into their relationship?
No, my older sister, like when it came to any boyfriend, it wasn't like a facade or anything. That was just who she was with the guy she was with. Like even now, I remember one time we had a conversation, me and my middle sister was asking her, because it was, you talk about your marriage sometimes, share information. And so it was where we were asking things like, so you won't say anything? Like, let's say he made a decision that you knew was a bad decision and y'all would end up in a street. You would just follow that and knowing that you could have a plan. And she was like, yeah, if we end up on the street, like we're going to end up on the street together. And me and my other sister, we were like, nah, I refuse to let my family end up on the street when I know we have the capability to make a different decision. So, but she's the type, if we got to, jump off the bridge, we're going to all jump off the bridge.
You're going to let him lead under any circumstances. I feel like that's funny, because with my sister, she would be like, nah, we not ending up on the street, partner. Because I know how to get us off the street. So let me just handle this real quick. And I think it goes back to like just how, I guess, the family dynamic is, because that wasn't happening with my older sister. She's 6 years older than me. So, and that's the biggest complaint I get from her boyfriends. And I try to tell her, or her man friends, I try to tell her, maybe it's her type that's the problem. And she needs to be with somebody that's more welcoming to her competence and her knowledge about how a household is ran,
Miss Taken, your older sister sound like a good woman.
See, and that's I just don't understand. So we're all a year apart, like literally, we're like back to back to back, all a year apart. And a lot of guys I hear say that is a great woman, right? Because if y'all fail, and I don't mean fail, if y'all make a poor decision that's going to impact the entire family, and she knows that she don't say nothing and just let y'all, let it fail. To me, I don't think that is using the gift of discernment. You know what I mean? And so I think there's a balance between following, your husband, but following him to the detriment of the family is not using discernment. When you guys have the ability to like not end up in a situation, just following blindly does not benefit anybody. And what are you teaching your kids too? Not just the male children, but also the female children as well, is that when you know something to be wrong and you don't voice it, and you just follow along with the crowd, or just follow along, to me, that is not teaching a balance between following what's right and then speaking up when something isn't.
Yeah, no,
I have a legit non-confrontational question. Mont,
Mhm.
you would rather have a woman, even if it's a mistake and you slipping, no judgment on your manhood, that would let you lead the family into the street, than to a woman that be like, nah, I got this going on over here. We don't have to be on the street. You would rather have the woman that be like, I'm gonna follow you to the street. Is that are you serious
Yeah.
or
I'm gonna clarify exactly what I think.
okay?
I
Okay.
think that it is a woman. I think that as a woman being a helpmate, right? It's her responsibility to tell you what she sees. She's a second set of eyes. So if you think that I'm wrong, or if you think that you got, something is better, let me know. And then once I contemplate it, I might still decide to make that decision. Right now, if I still decide to make that decision, are you going to override me, or are you going to, allow me to make that mistake? So you give me all of the information that you have. You say, hey, this is a bad decision. I think that we should be doing this. And I feel confident that we should be doing this, right? And your man, as the leader, he says, okay, I'm going to take that into consideration. I hear you. However, I think that this is what we should be doing. Are you going to allow him to make that mistake? Or are you going to say, you know what? I can't let you do this. I'm going to take the kids and we're going to go and do this. What would you do?
I'm gonna speak from my sister's standpoint, and then I'm gonna speak for mine. For my sister, if there's kids involved, she'd probably be like, just let me know when I can't have the kids I can't have the babies on the street, baby. We got to do something different. Now, if it was me and there's no kids involved, maybe I don't think I would. I don't think I would end up with a guy that would be detrimentally putting me on the street. That's just where I stand. But if it was an accident, no, I wouldn't leave him. Would I give him suggestions to get us off the street because I don't like sleeping on curbs? Absolutely. But would I override him and like, oh, let's overthrow the king? No. My big sister, on the other hand, I don't think she's letting her kids sleep on the street though, because she knows how to fix that.
Yeah. I think as life is a journey. And when you decide to go through life together with your man, like everybody has been through so many things in life. I've made mistakes, I've made poor choices. And all it did was teach me things. So I'm trying to think of if I was in a situation where, it ended up, we ended up having to be on the street for a few days, whatever, right? Me as a man, my woman, by the time she's with me to that extent and we have kids, she should already be completely confident that no matter what happens, we're always going to be okay. Oh, we doing this for I know that he got us regardless and he made a poor decision, but I'm confident that my man will see that he made a poor decision and that he will learn and he'll be stronger from that and we'll be stronger from that. But I don't think at any point, if you think that you with a man and you're a better leader than him, then go be with another man or be by yourself. But I know for me, I'm not always going to be right, but 90 to 95% of the time, I know what I'm talking about. And I'm also good at realizing I made a bad decision and I pivot really fast. Like, so that's all a part of being a leader. It's not about always being right, but sometimes you have to, like with your kids, sometimes you got to trust your kids to make a mistake. And, you have to trust that they're going to learn from that mistake, even though you know that they're wrong.
So I'm sorry, JR, because I know you, the mediator. One more thing. So I have a question for you. If your significant other is like, hey, I got this, and this going on, and we're going to sleep in a hotel tonight opposed to the street, would you feel like that's an overthrow? I mean, I guess it depends on what you feel like the overthrow is.
No, we're a team. If she, I mean, as long as you didn't go about it in a way that I wouldn't approve, like you going get some nigga money and like, yo, he got us a hotel.
Well, yeah, no.
Yeah, as long as you made something happen, then we're a team.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's all I was trying to figure out. Okay, that makes sense.
Sure, I'll be like, do anything you can. I need a nice little warm meal. If you gotta go out, go out.
Wow. Okay. Let me get some other folks. Per, I know you had your hand up. Let's get Bo, True, Hinkiness. Wow.
I mean, I agree to a certain extent. I'm not saying that if a woman questions or a wife questions if her husband is making a certain decision and we know it's going to go wrong, it's almost like if I'm the passenger and you're in the car and you're getting ready to crash, am I not supposed to say anything because you're the leader? The point that I want to make is I understand that men are leaders, and I'm not, again, trying to overthrow your leadership. But I just want to make sure when you're operating as a leader that you're operating not in ego, right? But in spirit. And sometimes your wife, as your helpmate, is going to see through that second lens that you need, that level of discernment that sometimes you can't see, right? And I get it. Like, if she's going to go and she's going to be put up and the kids are going to be put up, like, your ego is like stopping you from coming with her. I don't know if it's to her parents' house, wherever it is. It's almost like when you're in that mode, you don't want to ask for help. You don't want to reach out, like you want to figure it out on your own. And we get that. But sometimes you can't figure that shit out on your own. Like, you need your village. You need people to help and support you. And I get that that's an emotional response. I'm going to let you have your time. But again, as your helpmate, as your wife, as your support system as well, I need for you to see that this is not beneficial for either of us. And again, sometimes you all shut down in the midst of crisis, and that's what you do. And you like try to wrap that as stoicism when it's really like, I need you to just say you need help and let me help, let us help. Just saying. I love leadership, I do. But you got to be a great listener and let other people listen too. Like, you have to listen to other people. Just saying. I love y'all.
I love how you articulated that, Ms. Pearl. And I've listened to most of the women convey this. And this is always interesting that it seems that there is somewhat of an insecurity for where the woman plays her position in these relationships. I think what Mont said is stellar, because there has to be trust on the end of who you chose as well. And what I hear is women continuing to say, but you'll let me play my position, right? Like, you'll let me interject, right? It seems almost juvenile that we're smart people and adults, and at the levels of where we build relationships, that's not already somewhat understood. And maybe it does happen more often than not. I just assume, because I'm talking to very intellectual, mature, developed individuals, right? You said ego, Ms. Pearl. I would argue it's the same. Life is going to hit our union in some ways that maybe I'm not competent enough at moments to foresee. That's a vice versa thing. So this whole deviation that you believe that if me and you have children, we wed each other and we build a family, there is no you without me, vice versa. You don't get to take my children anywhere unless I endorse that. I think this idea that you guys, like you and then the kids and then me, is craziness. This is a unit. Those children, you know what I'm saying? Like that just blows my mind. But I think that, yeah, a smart man, a wise man, or a competent leader is always going to do what's best for the team. And it's going to do what's best for the unit. I guess I'm not a woman, so I'm trying to open up and understand where this fear of ending up in the street comes from, or everything going to crap comes from. It's always like Armageddon.
That's just the extreme. That's the extreme. That's why I was saying.
That's what was said, though.
No,
worst case scenario. That stemmed from what I was talking about when me and my sisters were talking. So that was kind of because it started off of just like this is without trying to put any of her business, out there. But it stemmed from a conversation that occurred within, their marriage. And me and my middle sister, were both asking her, well, why didn't you say anything? Right? Because you're saying something to us, which means you understood that the decision that he was making, you didn't agree with, but didn't share with him why, right? You just rolled with it. And then now you're upset about the impact and the consequences of that decision that he made had on the family. So I think she is responsible for not sharing that with him. That's part of her role as a wife, is to have those conversations, because he may be seeing things from a different perspective and she has a different angle of what that decision be. So lay out all of the information and he makes that decision based on that. But the fact that she did not share that with him, and then you're upset about the outcome of that decision, and she was right. So then that led to me and my other sister, of course, going to the extreme where it was like, okay, so you let this happen. So at what point, like, what is your cutoff point? Like, if he made a decision that you knew you and your family were going to end up out on the street, would you still listen? So that's where the extreme came from. But I think most good men, like you said, have the best interest at heart. I do. However, I do think that sometimes men get fixated on a decision that they make because they're looking maybe at the good outcome, the outcome or the goal that they're trying to obtain. And sometimes when they hear information that kind of goes against that, they take it a certain way that I don't think is necessarily that the woman is trying to poke holes in your goal, but they're trying to make you look at it from different angles, right? But I think a man who has a family is going to weigh his decision. And if the worst case scenario is the family may end up on the street, they should have a plan that would be like, okay, worst case scenario is this, but I have a backup plan so you guys won't be on the street with me. You gonna take that L and you live on the street while your wife and your kids are somewhere safe and taken care of. So that's my opinion in that.
Okay, hold on before anybody else respond. True, were you finished?
Yeah, you can pass the mic. I like where it's going.
Okay, I do gotta get the other people involved, Coach Z and I. Go ahead, Boeing.
I think that the men, this is usually my problem with the whole leadership conversation, because it gets to a very like muddy area when men are like, if you don't want to listen to me, you could just go be by yourself. But if you don't want to listen to me, you could just go be by yourself. I think that men don't realize that she's there and she's following your leadership, but she is there in order to see the things that you don't see. Your method of leadership is not just you make all of the decisions and she just does what you say. Sometimes you don't have to make that mistake. You could just listen to her and be like, maybe I could do this a little different. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that this will end up putting us in a very compromising position. And if you can't see past your own ego to be like, you know, like if I would have still been renting if I didn't make the decision that I made because someone was moving very slow. I'm trying to follow my husband. I'm trying to do what he, you know, follow the path or the I don't know, the pace that he's going, but the pace that he was going was too slow. I had to do what I had to do. And also, someone taking your kids is not taking them from you. It is taking them to shelter them. Because as a woman, you have failed. And so now I have to make sure that my children have shelter in spite of you. Like, you can stay here, but my children will not. It's not that I'm taking them. Like, it's not that a woman wants to take your kids from you. You should want your woman and your kids to be protected and under shelter, not leaving you. Like, she's not leaving you. She's sheltering her kids. And you all will figure this out in the meantime. But those kids need to be safe. And if you want to come, you can come. But if you want to stay out on the street, she has to shelter those kids. That's all I'm saying. And it doesn't have to be you taking my kids. It's not really that. It doesn't have to be. Some women do leave. But I think that we're missing like the woman side of it. I get y'all. I get the leadership. Y'all know I get it now. But I think that men also don't see that, you know, the mistakes that they're making could probably be less mistakes if you just listen to your woman as well.
You know, I love you, right, Bo? I got nothing but love for you.
Me too.
I got nothing but love for you. But what you articulated is kind of what, again, I'm hearing coming from the women. And this is just my observation. Doesn't make me right. A lot of women have that mindset, and it's wrong. You do not, if I send you away as my woman with my children, that's a different thing than you coming to the decision that that's what you're going to do. They're very different. Us deciding that this is the best movement for our family is a very different choice than you observing the landscape of the choices I made that more than likely I made with you being aware that I made them. So if I made a choice in a union, right, and it goes left, you were aware that I made these choices. I think that there's this idea that the man is just making the choices and there's no communication and she's not made aware. I don't think that that happens in mass. And this is just, again, my assumption. So if the case is that I'm doing my job as the leader, conveying what I believe to happen, I make the choice and it ends up with a bad result. Now we decide how this choice that you were aware of is going to, you know, spill out from this point. When you think that you can take the children because now your job is to, safety them or protect them. I agree, but it's the way it's conveyed, and this may be just the way I'm hearing it. It's like the woman has that mindset and the man doesn't. And I don't think that that's what most men are saying. I think what we're saying is that I don't want any woman in my life, like you said, Bo, this is just your words, so I'm just using what you said. You said the man that you chose was moving too slow. I think that even from that perspective, that's a conversation. Too slow for who? Because at the point to where we're at the union of being together, I think communication should have been happening, that you're understanding what I'm trying to accomplish in life, what you're trying to accomplish, and what we're trying to accomplish. So he's moving too slow or she's moving too slow, those folks ain't talking, because there should be an understanding of what's occurring 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years, or whatever, right? There can't be division in a union of that magnitude. That's why people don't be together now. And I just hear that mindset. There's like this lack of trust from men. I don't know if the men that women are ended up with are not doing a very good job, or women are just so accustomed to being their own chief in their own village, in their own president, that they only trust themselves. That's what I observe. And I'll pass the mic.
Was it?
So I think that, so that it's a very complicated, like, because we've been through this. Like, I've been through that whole story about too slow. There was communication. There was a timeline. There was a deadline, and we weren't going to meet it. We didn't meet it the first time. We weren't going to meet it the second time. So I had to do what I had to do. So, but also there was no union there either. There was no partnership there. There was no like teamwork, working together, nothing like that in the whole thing. So that's really why I fell apart. And that's why I want men to understand that you have to work with. That's why I'm always saying you have to work with your wife, your whoever you're with, because making decisions separate from each other is not okay. And that's what, and I know that that's probably what you heard when I was talking about the kids. No, this is a decision made by two people. Now, if in fact the man decides that the children and his wife are not going to leave him and they all need to stay on the street, then the wife needs to make an executive decision and be like, yeah, I'm taking my kids. But no, this is a family decision, right? So I don't ever want anybody to misunderstand me. Everything is always supposed to be made. Every decision is always supposed to be made together. Teamwork. I never move without whoever my partner, husband, boyfriend, whatever we are. I never move without that person unless it needs to be done that way. Like deadlines. I got to get it done. Just like the guy was saying in the video, like if your plan fails, she got a plan. So, and you need a woman like that that's going to have a plan. I am planning just in case. And I ain't saying nothing. And I'm not overriding you. But just in case, I got a plan too. Because I need to say, like, I'm in this family as well. So that's all I be saying. But I'm leadership, I'm cool. I'm good. Submissive, whatever. I'm cool with it.
All right, let's go to get Naomi. I'm coming to you, Coach Z. I'm gonna open it up and Naya right after Hink. I just want to be fair and get them in there because they've been patiently waiting. Go ahead, Naomi.
Okay, so I think the part of this conversation that so I've had this conversation before previously, especially with men and women. And the one thing that I want to point out is the woman's position to not just follow blindly. I think that's what a lot of people miscommunicate as submission. But the fact of the matter is that, like he said in the video, she has a backup plan. So her backup plan isn't necessary until his failure. And the fact of the matter is a lot of women are so afraid of what could possibly happen behind a failure just because we know something, that we're not allowing men to fail and being supportive and encouraging behind that. Just like we sit here and say, a lot of women fight with this, like men shouldn't see women as children. But in that same nurturing sense, us as women need to truly learn how to nurture our men the way we do our children, including encouraging, supporting when there is a mistake. And that's where we tend to, where a woman's ego meets a man's ego when it comes to a detriment. I don't agree that we should be using like be out in the streets type of example, because that's an extreme situation that does not happen a majority of the time. And if we're going to be on a panel using the majority as if it's a consistency, is just being disingenuous. So to me, the root part of this conversation is allowing your man to make that mistake and trusting that you've already voiced it, and then helping him learn from it through it, not shaming him, not condemning him, not speaking down to him. But that's what we're hearing when we hear a lot of men say that, oh, well, now they're holding it in rather than coming to her and saying, hey, this is where we're at. And then they seek that insight. But majority of men don't seek insight from the woman because of what her previous action told him. And so now he's withholding information. And when it blows up, she's like, why didn't you tell me? And he's like, well, the fact of the matter is, like, I tried to do this before and you blew up on something small and made me feel, you emasculated me and made me feel like less of a man. So now I can't come to you when something big is happening. And I think if we're gonna speak from a woman being a wife, it starts from the beginning and nurturing him into the position to where he can come and say, this little thing is happening. What do you think? And then when the mistake happens, say, okay, you know what? If you disagree, verbalizing it in a feminine, calming, soothing, loving way, and then allowing him to still make that choice. And if it fails, you know what? Not throw it in his face, but say, this is how I saw maybe this could happen. What do you think? And then nurturing him into the leader that you want him to be. Because I think a lot of the time we end up in love with the man who we think is a leader rather than who we are when we get together. And I'll end there.
All right, let's go to Hink and that's open. I know Coach Z has something to say, and I.
So the video didn't say anything about homelessness, being home. That was a mistaken example. Well, there's a lot of things wrong with it. First of all, as a sister, she probably shouldn't have came to mistaken and her, I guess, other sister. She came to the two sisters. Is that what she did mistaken? Your sisters came to you and your other sister, right? Okay. Yeah, that should have been a conversation she should have brought to y'all, because I don't believe in discussing marital business with family unless it's something wrong. There's some type of abuse in that situation or something like that. Now, being homeless, yeah, that's something wrong. Maybe they should, but that was an extreme. That was an example that y'all brought to the sisters, not like she was homeless and she's coming looking for a place to lay her head and bringing her and the kids to lay their head. That wasn't a situation. That was just an example. You will follow this man even to the point of homelessness. Yes, that is an extreme for a lot of people. Hopefully nobody ever ends up like that. But you shouldn't be in a marriage if you're not willing to follow the man, not following with conditions. Oh, I'll follow you until you get us to the point of homelessness. No, you shouldn't. That shouldn't be the case. You should put no conditions on you following your husband. And just like your husband shouldn't put conditions on you because you're going to make mistakes. Well, heifer, you burnt my goddamn biscuits. I'm ready to leave you for a woman who could cook biscuits better. Yeah, we should be doing that, but that's what it sounds like. We okay with that. I'm going to follow you till you do something I don't like or I don't agree with or that I don't see fit. No, that's bullshit. That's why they always say men don't love with conditions. Women do love with conditions because, like Bo said, she's going to have a plan. It goes left. I got my get out of jail free fund. I'm going to get my rainy day fund. Those are the backup plans that y'all talking about. And those are extremes. It shouldn't be like that. We shouldn't have those type of situations like that because I'm going to be in it. Even if I do make a mistake, I'm going to find a way to get us out of this mistake. And so now I got to go find you and bring you back home because you decided that you didn't like the decision I make. Look, men are not perfect. We're far from it. We're going to make some mistakes. Now, hopefully we don't make mistakes to the point where we got an eviction notice, to the point where you're getting kicked out of the apartment or getting evicted from my house or something like that. Hopefully a man is not making those type of mistakes. I hope he's not. Now, I'm not going to say it doesn't happen because it does, but hopefully that's not the case. It might. I mean, we had this conversation more about certain investments. A man's going to make investments if he feels like it needs. Is he going to have a conversation with his significant other? Yes, he should. He should talk to his significant other about, hey, baby, I'm looking at this investment. I think it'll be a great opportunity for us in the family and in the long run. I'm running it by you to see what your thought is. But at the end of the day, I'm going to make this final decision, whether you agree or you don't. And hopefully we can, live through this mistake, this decision, and we can flourish. Hopefully not fail, but flourish. Now, most of the times, and what I'm hearing up here is like, nah, I'm not. Y'all just ready to run. Y'all not in it for the long haul. Y'all in it for the good days. But when them valleys come about, y'all don't got no stick witness. At the first sign of doubt or trouble, we out. I'm looking to get up out of this situation. Get up. I'm talking to my sisters. I'm talking to my brother. I'm talking to the big mama. And we going over and I'm taking the kids with me. And you just going to have to figure it out yourself. Yeah, that's not cool. That's not good. Because what if the roles were reversed and you was making a decision like that and you made a bad decision and now that man said, hey, I'm out. Yeah, you shouldn't have got sick. You shouldn't have caught cancer. You shouldn't have went through whatever you went through and got laid off at work. Yeah, I got to go. That's not okay. But you expect that man to stick with you, do that. I should expect my wife to do the same for me. I landed there.
All right, go ahead, Coach Z.
I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible. First of all, I agree that the subject matter got taken about with the whole extremists. But when you think about a woman with children, that is our worst nightmare. And there's no, and as a mom, that is your worst nightmare. Is like, where is my kid gonna sleep? Where are our children gonna sleep? So if you got a situation where you're both making a situation, yeah, baby, if it sounds like a good idea, and we fucked up, I don't plan on being with a guy that'd be like, nah, we gonna all sleep in the streets together. I feel like maybe my big sister would, but me, I would definitely be dating a guy that'd be like, baby, hey, call my mama or call my cousin. Y'all go to the crib and I'm gonna figure this shit out so we can get. That's my first point. That's how that should go, even if that's worst case scenario. Second thing that I had to say is that there's just a lot of sensitivity. I feel like everybody, not just men, but everybody in this situation is like being real sensitive about decisions that need to be made as a couple. So Hink, you're like, oh, if she make a mistake, blah blah blah, and take the kids. I feel like if everybody would just think in reality and say that, yes, I'm gonna follow this man, I want a helpmate, which is what y'all say every fucking podcast, but then don't want no help when it comes down to the part where you need help, is crazy to me. But then to also come back and say that you taking my kids, nobody's saying that we're going anywhere. We just prefer not for our children to be in fucking destitute. And I would expect you to say the same thing. Hey, babe, do you have an idea so that I can get through this issue and our kids can still eat, sleep, clean, take showers, and go to school without CPS being called? Figure that shit out, because that is the woman's job. That's why you got with her. So I'm just trying to figure out where all this sentiment of now follow me into the motherfucking gutter came from, or follow me into our bad mistake. Even if the bitch did was like, yeah, baby, that's and pumped you up into this bad investment, it's still at the end of the day your responsibility. That's how I feel about men. That's how I grew up around men. We fucked up, but at the end of the day, you fucked up, sir, because you led her into that. So now make sure your children at least are comfortable. Unfortunately, they need somebody to take care of them while they're comfortable. So that includes your wife. So she got to go take care of the kids while we fix this shit. So I think everybody just being like super sensitive about that. Sorry, JR. And that it's just you making it harder than it actually is. I'll land there.
Go ahead, Naya. You on mute, just so you know, sir.
All right, so I like what Hank said, and I like what Coach said. Look, I agree with Hank when he has stated that this isn't a partnership. It's not a partnership. It's a regime change. It's like how you run a country. You know, we need advisors. The wife is the advisor. She bring advice, you know, directions, and it's up to us to make the final decision. But she doesn't have say in the direction we go. None. Now, I like what Coach and Miss Taken said when they said when we fall on hard time, she got to go with the kids. Like if my wife tell me, look, I have a friend that's a guy, you know, he told me I could go stay there. I have pride, but if shit not working out, she ain't sleeping on the street. She got to go. You know, in my mind, look, you got to go. You know, like I'm gonna figure this out on my own. Don't worry about it. But you got to go. Whatever you got to do, make sure you and the kids is fine. That's priority first. And I'll figure this thing out. Because the longer me and you on the street, it's gonna kind of stress me out. But at least I know you're somewhere safe. Now, but that's only when we talk about it though, you know. But if she decides that she's saying, okay, you know what? Look, I mean, I'm leaving you because you fell on hard time, etc. As a man, me personally, I have to accept it. My rulership, my regime, my country, I didn't do a good job running it. So thus I fell. And thus she about to go and find a new place. Now eventually I'm gonna come back up, and it's up to me to decide would I take her back. But if we talked about it, yeah, no, look, no, nope. There's no if and a but. You got a place you could go sleep in. Go. Like if it just is let's look at it like this. Let's say if it's your daughter and her husband and her, they're homeless now. You're gonna tell this chick follow this guy? Hell no, baby. You better come home. Tell that dude go out there find a job. Go find something to do. Come here. You could take a bath at my house. But every morning, if you're not out there, I'm gonna kick your ass out. Go find a job. Go make money. Go find a spot to go. You know, to where you and your family could go together. But my daughter, come home. You could stay here as long as you need. The kid could stay here as long as she need. She. That's what I believe.
I think I think women have this thing about them, and I get it, where it's this self preservation thing. And they want to protect themselves, they want to protect their kids, and when they get to a certain place, when they get to like within a certain threshold, they just like, yo, I gotta do something, and I think that they tend to be very short-sighted with that. And I know, like me as a man, I tell my woman oftentimes, like, I know you feel frustrated right now, but picture yourself 20 years from now, we're gonna be laughing about what the kids just did. Like, oh, he got chocolate all over his face. Like, we're gonna be laughing and we're gonna be missing, the time where he got chocolate all over his face. Like, women tend to be short-sighted here. Like, and when we talk about being homeless, and let's say you lose all your money, so many great people and great men lose everything and they bounce back and they're stronger. People file bankruptcy. Like, all of these things are realistic. Like, even when Bo talks about the situation where she almost lost the house. Okay, it's a house. You get another house. Y'all gonna get the money back. You're going, like, the most important thing to me is the union. It's me and it's you. That's the core. That's everything. As long as we can be in a burning house, I don't care. I'm here with you, right? And I think that's kind of something we lose sight of, is that as long as me and you are intact, we can build anything from ground zero. Break it down, we'll build it up again. But women kind of get attached to the things and no, we're going to lose the house. So what? We'll get another house. And 20 years from now, we're going to look back and we're going to be like, remember that time where we didn't have no money, and now we're where we are right now, and you thought we were about to die, and kind of, you was floating around with your arms in the air. I don't know.
See, with me, you got to look at it on a bigger picture. Let's go back to the country scenario. Your country is being attacked by invaders coming in. Are you going to tell your people just to stay there and die? Stay there with me. We're going to figure this out. No, you're going to tell them you guys need to escape. You guys need to find a place. Go to the neighboring country. Change your name. Let's look at another one. When King George, when their nation was falling, he had a lot of kids. He spread his kids all throughout America, Africa, different places. He didn't say, no, kids, my wife, stay here. Y'all be with me. We all die together. No, this is he's the captain of his ship. He is not, he's not there looking for a babysitter. His wife is not a babysitter. He is the captain of his ship. When he do not rule that nation properly, he falls with that nation.
Now, quick question. You just, because what you said was key. Who told them to go to another country?
So that's what you're supposed to tell. Let's say if you're the captain of your ship.
That's what who's supposed to tell them?
The man.
So he had a plan, right?
Yes.
He had a plan. He still had a plan. He had a structure. It's not like they all kind of just decided to do what they wanted to do. It was a free fall. He had a plan. He said, yo, this is the next move for y'all. This is what I want you to do. Go change your name. But everything you said was him giving them a pathway to safety.
Yes. He have a plan. He said, go to the neighboring country, or the people make the decision themselves. Go to the neighboring country. Your rulership sucks. That's really how I look at it as. You didn't lead properly as a man. You're terrible. Have fun. You have a temporary fall. You will learn from that mistake. That's the goal. You will learn from it. And when you come back up, it's up to you to decide, do you want to take her back? If you guys talk about it, and she do go to the next neighboring country, then now y'all always on the phone talking, she's helping you, etc. All right, now obviously you'll be like, you know what, babe? I know you went over there, but me, you constantly talk, you constantly come and visit me. I appreciate that. I'm taking you back. But still, it goes back to, you're still the captain of your ship. You're still the boss at the end of the day. You're just a terrible leader. That's how I look at it. He sucks. Me, if I'm the dad in a neighboring country, man, daughter, bring your ass here. No. Let that kid figure it out himself. He fall. That's up to him. If my daughter asks me to help, I'll help you.
Y'all, Coach, hey, listen, JR literally has a show called King Talk, right? And let's go back to that, because I'm a history teacher. If a king is getting invaded or whatever's going wrong with the kingdom, he teaches his wife to fight. She fights until the last second. And he is supposed to protect his lineage and send them off. And I think that's what every woman on here was trying to say. If it gets to the point where they kicking in the chamber door and your children, your queen, and everybody else carrying your lineage is still in there and you ain't told them to leave yet, there is a problem. And then that at that point, they're supposed to escape on their own to save his lineage, even in the end, looking out for his lineage. If you stay there and you want to die on your own and be known as the brave king Jackson the 50th or whatever, that's cool. And that's how your lineage will be because your son is somewhere safe. But for you to say like, no, we about to die together, bro, what kind of leader are you really? Y'all want to be like king talk this and king talk that, but y'all moving like gestures and peasants. You're supposed to get your lineage up out of there. So all the women are saying is if it gets to the point of self-destruction, whether it was a mutual agreement or a singular agreement, you're at least supposed to be like, yo, I fucked up, we fucked up, however it is go make sure you take care of these kids and I'm gonna come for you. But everybody think that's a fantasy, but when in reality, and when you raised by a real king and that's how your house is ran, like me, then all of a sudden, oh, you're delusional and you're this and that. No, nigga, that's how I was raised. If shit went bad, we always were straight. But nah, my mom was supposed to follow my dad blindly. That never was an option for her. He sent her away. But when it get to the point where it's y'all like, nah, you following me into death. We're all gonna die together. Man, y'all tripping, man. Y'all want a helpmate just to get her murdered? Or just to
crazy. We went from one extreme of losing a house. Now we playing fucking Risk.
Thank you.
This is crazy, man.
Why y'all doing this?
How the hell did we go this far?
At the end of the day, though,
hold on.
That's what he said, though.
Cookie.
Wait a minute. How you put you before me?
I don't understand this, man.
Hold on.
Watching.
Okay, go ahead, bro. My bad.
Get Naomi in there first, and then we'll come back around. I got you on the list.
Called an analogy.
I believe in hierarchy. I respect that.
Go ahead, Naomi.
So I don't think we're actually listening to what the men are saying. Being sent away is different than me making the choice to leave. There's a huge difference. It's not saying listen, I think we should get out of the analogy that one, men are not considerate of the lineage that they have with them. And if that's the type of man that we're talking about, that's not the type of man that are here right now that we're discussing. It's a difference between a man saying, hey, sending his woman away to his father's house or what that place may be so that he could get it together, and her choosing to leave on her own, like, man, I'm not doing this with you, I'm leaving you type of thing. That is a huge difference, even in the reflection of the woman and her mindset. I understand what some of the women are saying, like, hey, this is detriment to us. I'm starting to feel some sort of way. I'm getting scared. I'm getting anxious. I think a lot of men are prepared for a woman with that type of emotion. I think men already know that she's going to get scared and she's going to be in her feelings about something, especially if it comes to the detriment of your children. And we're sitting here talking like, well, he's just not gonna listen. Okay, well then that's a different type of man.
That's not what I said. The analogy was, at what point, sis, do you figure that you're gonna make a decision on your own? I wasn't trying to get into the deep shit, but what I was trying to do was make an analogy so they could understand the difference between a woman saying, this has gotten too far, they're kicking on the chamber door, and I need to stay here and fight with my man, with my king. So that's all that I was saying.
So there's a difference even when doing that. I do truly believe that a man who's protecting of his lineage, like if a woman is going to sit here and take a hit outside of struggle love and he thinks that that's okay, that's not very wise. That's
all I was saying. I was just being dramatic. That's what I do.
See, that's exactly like my point, though. like, I don't believe that that's majority of where we're at right now. Like, outside of the dramatics and outside of these extreme analogies, like, what is the truth of it? It's finding that balance as a woman. I understand there come a time to where she's going to need to make a decision, but having that communication with the man and then him saying, okay, you know what? Yes, you're right. This is where we're at. And him send her away is completely different than him saying, hey, escape through the fireplace in the back and I'm gonna stay here fighting the chambers, you know, da 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 da. There's a difference between them saying, him having that wisdom and agreeing with her, and then her just saying, well, you know what, I'm out. I don't truly believe that it comes down to such a detriment of life and death in that way.
I don't
Especially,
either.
Yeah, but see,
But
this,
I was giving an analogy though,
but
like,
this is
because
the
some
thing
people on here
is,
don't understand the difference. When you talk too subtle, they're like, well, still, da, 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 da. So what I did was made it life or death so they understand the difference between, nigga, I'm about to leave you and you sending me away. That's all that it was. I don't think anything's that detrimental. I would never date a man that would get that detrimental. But what I was saying is that it's not, don't take it so serious to the point, but I have to draw it out in a situation for people to understand. That's all that I'm saying. I get what you're saying. It's never going to be that's not the majority of men, but the majority, a lot of men that listen are cut dry middle. So you have to make it like life or death for them to understand the difference between leaving a man because he's a bad leader and being sent away by a man because he's a good leader. That's all that I was doing. That's all that I'm saying. I don't
yeah,
believe that that's how life
and
is, though.
yeah, and I would like to add, see, there's you can't just start from ground. Let's
Hold on, new guy. You got to follow the order now. You
my
got the
bad, my
order. You
bad,
got
my
to
bad.
follow it, though.
Go ahead, True.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the fact that we're expanding upon the thought, but I do think that Naomi did a very good job of pinpointing what we're trying to convey, you know, and this is why these conversations are great, because we have multiple perspectives, right? I think we understand what the women are trying to convey. I think there is a disconnect on what you guys are still not gaining. I'll speak for me. I don't want no woman that has to think singular, period. In no way, shape, or form. Because if I chose her, I'm doing my job every day, every week, every month. Anything she's going to execute past the point of the demise of my leadership or the conditions of my leadership are still going to be operating from the instructions that she's gained from me. That's just how I see it, right? And there still seems to be this, well, but you know, like Naya, you knew, brother, you said a couple of things that I find questionable, because you said on one hand, if she has a male friend that I can send her away to, hey, run it. And then on the other end, you said, if I'm her father and he failed, then come back home. Well, I would say you're a crappy father, because if I married your daughter, I'm your son. We're family. If I'm sending her back to you, we had a conversation amongst kings, unless somehow, some way you just gave her life and you just
Nah,
exist.
don't say kings.
No, I'm saying, I'm speaking from my position, because I would assume if I'm doing my thing correctly, I chose her because she came from a good household. This is, again, this in the best case scenario, right? But basically, there still seems to be some static. I'm again speaking for me. I don't want no woman that has a singular mindset like that. There shouldn't be so much fear, in my opinion, that you think, especially at the point to where we've cultivated a relationship, that you don't know what I'm capable of. There are going to be things that are going to come. Life going to happen. Life going to hit. But you're never going to have to, in my opinion, be without instruction or protection. That's my job on a daily. If kids exist, that's, again, my job on a daily. So this idea that, well, you know, but just in case, like, again, I'm not a woman. It's interesting. And I'm coming from a perspective where I watched my mother and my father. I talked about them last week. They've been married 40-something odd years. My mother never once. My dad messed up a couple of things, went bankrupt twice, made some choices. We didn't know the difference, because there was nothing in their union that she ever decided that I'm going to stand against my husband and remove because I'm smarter than him or I got a better plan. That doesn't make sense to me. And I think that's where I'm saying it, maybe Mon's saying it, maybe even Hink, because there seems to be, again, a disconnect. And that's why I'm saying I'm speaking to the mindset that seems to exist amongst the women. There is no individualism when the regime has changed. I think that was Naya's word. You're being inherited. You're being absorbed. You're being acquired. And we're now building something that requires both of us to be depositing our skill sets, talents, and so on and so forth. So again, I don't know what scenario may happen where like they kicking down the front door like Country Cookie said, or we're about to be homeless, but these extremes are, maybe this is not a good depiction of how to convey what happens on a more regular basis. The point is,
I'm speaking on the audience so they can understand the difference between a choice to leave a situation with a bad leader and a need. And a need for a leader to say, nah, we messed up because you are a unit. I need you to go do this. That's all that I was making it very blatant.
Okay.
Do I think that way on a personal level? No.
Okay.
I wouldn't even date anybody that put me in that situation. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think y'all are missing the point where I'm talking to y'all, but I'm also talking to y'all audience, which y'all also say that I need to do more often because I say I'm a character. And then it's like, Cookie, you need to be there. People listening. So when I say people are, now that I'm trying to be like, people are listening, I need to make a clear line between a bitch leaving her husband because she thinks he ain't making good decisions, and a husband making an executive decision to send her away. That's all that I was doing.
Okay,
right,
so
go ahead, table respond. Go ahead.
At what point, Cookie, I want to ask her something. At what point, if me and you are together, at what point do I become a bad leader to you? What has to happen for you to now arrive at that thought? Now that I'm a bad leader, because I chose you, you chose me, we're together. So what occurred to populate in your mind? He's no longer a good leader. What has to happen?
What has to happen for me? Kids are going to school. CPS might be called because they dirty. The kids are hungry when they get home. The lights are off. The water is off. Basic life things. It doesn't have to be minimal. You made a bad investment and now we might miss 2 car payments. That's not what I'm saying. For women that are listening and men that are listening, it has to be detrimental life and death. Like you can go without certain things and luxuries. What I was saying was it needs to be life and death if you have to make that choice. So it would have to be something very big,
Okay,
like
so let's use
homelessness, like literally.
let's use your example. If that was the case and we're both operating at our optimal level, if the kids that we have are going hungry or dirty, where's your participation in that? Because I'm one party in this equation, right? Like, how is that possible?
That's possible when you have somebody that's blindly following you and doesn't have a job, a backup plan, of money behind that she's not using to leave you, but to take care of the family. Everything that y'all say is fucking bad. That's where she's at.
That's interesting. That to me sounds like a woman who's operating on her own.
Y'all let her go.
No! I mean, what? You know what? Use JR.
All right. Pearl gonna go night. I got you. I see your hand. I see your hand, but we have an order. See that green box up there? It says Pearl, Bo, Hink.
My bad, JR.
So I'm gonna let Pearl go. I'm kind of putting people in there. So if y'all want to chime in, I got something to say, put it in the back. But I do want to play this next clip for some context after this. Go ahead, Miss Pearl.
Oh Lord. Okay. So we've been on this for a while. And I think once we start talking with the extremes is why it kind of is going left, or what Bo do, we're trying to go in the same direction, but we're doing this. So this just the gist. This not saying this the totality. I'm just doing this just to show you we're literally all on this panel. I think we're saying different things, but we're saying the same thing and just being construed differently. Maybe it's being perceived a different type of way. So I'm gonna just take the Rams and I'm gonna go from there. All right. So this kind of just all started from Miss Taken just saying that she had a conversation with her sisters about a particular scenario, right? And they were trying to present the scenario as like questioning your husband or like not speaking up to like a particular detriment versus like silent submission. And then it went from like Mont speaking about leadership and like almost from an egotistical type of standpoint. And if he wasn't, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes it might have been perceived or construed that way. So then it was like pushback, like, oh, am I following you off the cliff? Am I following you to homelessness? Y'all see these extremes, right? And then Bo chimed in was like, just kind of want to be a helpmate with some input that's not really considered, but more like authentically included. I was kind of riding with that too. And I think Cozy was saying that too. But I think the extreme of that, we still are thinking like homelessness. So there's like an emotional response, like, well, I ain't gonna sleep in the street with you. I love you, but me and the kids got to be put up. And so when I say and I think things like that, it went from that to True was like, I ain't getting this because now y'all saying y'all taking the kids, and it's like you questioning my leadership. Did we have a conversation? Is there like a communication? So I think that's why he was saying like, I'm your man, follow my plan. Like if you questioning my condition, you could transition. And it's like we jumped off of that and was like, oh well, if he's saying he don't want to be with me, I don't have to be with him. It's like we're missing it, right? Naomi kind of said the same thing, like you're supposed to stand by your man, like you're supposed to submit. You're not really supposed to question, like that's what you signed up for. That's what Hink is saying. Like we all know how this go. Like you signed up to be with your husband. This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stand by your partner. That's the better for worse. That's why you guys are saying like when the conditions are great, you don't want to escape, but when it's not, you don't want to participate. Like I get that part, right? And I get what Naya is saying too. Like I'm the leader, follow as expected, captain of the ship, expected to follow. Like we're all kind of saying the same things. In essence, I think the emotional response is coming because we factored in children. Like the men are always thinking about the children, just like they're thinking about us. So I don't think it will ever be oppositional if any one of us came to our men or our husbands and said, oh, I'm going to my mom's or my husband's house. What True is saying is, was that decision made between us? Or did you make that decision in terms of questioning my leadership? Because now you're pissing me off, right? If you my helpmate, then you help me and we're going to make this decision together. But now I'm thinking like what we're thinking and we're misconstruing is if you're not seeing me as a helpmate because you're not asking my input and you're questioning my input. See, it's emotional responses on both ends instead of us just making this understanding that men always operate with us in mind. They do. And it would be a hit for any of us if we messed up our money or our finances, especially if we're that leader. Like they're going to take that highest hit and we're supporting them. So we take greater hits too, right? And I just think that was the point where it got missed. Like men are always making a plan. Conversations have to be had. Communication is key. I just think we got super lost in the South, and the South should have been if the eldest daughter was marriage material, because this is where this started. So I just want to kind of come back to that. And I just truly believe that there's a difference between being marriage material and actually doing the toll of the work to get to the altar. Because a man and a woman could both be marriage material and have everything that you want them to have, and you all still not make it there because of what the guy was saying inside of the video, which was you got to get her to be cool with taking days off, asking for help, and like not feeling her deal with work. There has to be a level of self-awareness for her, because if it's not your work in trying to get her to see and understand and kind of acquiesce herself to that role, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be tiring. It's going to be frustrating. And then it's not going to be fun anymore. And you're going to end up leaving. She may have been everything that you wanted, but she was giving you nothing of things that you needed. And that's kind of going back to what True was saying, that singular mindset. You can't have a singular mindset thinking and moving independently while you're in a relationship and want cohabitating or like results that are conducive to us being together and being in a union. That's not how that works. So I think that's where you fall short with that independent thinking, because you want the results that come with you having to submit and you don't really want to do it. So again, it's conversation with longevity versus like short-term circumstances. And I also think that's where we get wrapped up. So I think that's something we all understand. So my plane, I'll land. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Bo.
Yeah, I just wanted to make the point that I don't think any of the women on this panel are the type of women, contrary to popular belief about me, that doesn't want to let their man make the decision, that is operating off of like an independent mindset. Like none of the women are doing that here. So We're not like, oh, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. When I bring up, if all plans fail, I still got something in my back pocket. That's not for me. That's for us. When I am making a plan for anything, I'm making it for us. That's not to save my ass. I don't think any of the women here are of the mindset that you do what you do, I'm gonna save myself. If I'm in it with you, I'm in it with you. This is for us. And I'm always thinking. I'm always like calculating. So at every turn, whatever decision you are making, I trust it. But it is not an independent mindset that keeps me with a plan in the back of my head. That's just how my brain works. And so if my man comes to me and is like, I've done all I can do, what should I do? Or if he comes to me with input, am I supposed to be like, I don't know, you the leader, you do what you do? No, I'm going to have something in my back pocket because I'm supposed to be there to catch you. I'm supposed to be there in the case that maybe you need my help. So that plan that I'm always have is for us. I am always in an us mindset. I'm the net. I catch you. You catch me. So I think that the men are like missing just the women on this panel. I don't know what other women do, and I know y'all have heard me say some crazy things, but the way I actually operate in my relationship is I got you at all times. I'm a help. I got something. You know what I'm saying? So we're not, you got it. Like my rainy day fund is for us. It is not just for a me, unless it needs to be for a me. And then that's a completely different conversation. But my backup plan is always for us. That can double as a me if need be. That's all.
All right, it's on you, Hank. I'm mistaken.
So hold on. If that's the case, everything you just said was a lie before. Everything you just said, you said I'm for us. But then you said if it is for me, it's for me, right? So now you're talking out both sides of your neck. That it's not for us.
That's not true. It's for us. What I'm saying is, in the event that something happens and it needs to be for me, if something happens to you, if something happens to us, it needs to be for me.
What you meant?
Double. That's what I'm saying. So that don't make no sense to y'all.
No, it does. But I'm gonna let you have it. If that's your explanation, I'm gonna receive the explanation as you say. So I'm gonna just let it be. I'm not gonna challenge it more. I just don't understand what this extreme. We went from homeless to playing Risk. Naya introduced this board game to us. I don't understand why, because none of us are kings or queen up here. But you know, y'all like to pronounce yourself as queens and kings, but y'all ain't. You ain't nothing royal about your black ass. Nothing's royal about your black ass. So I mean, it is what it is. Y'all just all common folk. That's all we are, upper common folk. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to make it. Now, as far as the leadership, you should follow your man. That's where it should be. Now, if you're saying you're not, then you are letting us know you ain't shit. That's pretty much. You found my leadership good enough to say I do. You found my leadership good enough to get blessed with my last name. I make one goddamn mistake, y'all ready to jump fucking ship. Y'all ready to get the gone. Like I said, y'all love the mountains. Y'all can't stand them goddamn valleys. And as soon as I get us to a point, if we go into a valley, I'm taking my kids. Y'all don't say our kids. Y'all say my kids. And y'all forget that we produce these goddamn bastards together. We produce them. We made them. We came together. We have our nights. You didn't do it by yourself. Not far as I know you didn't. Unless I need to question the goddamn DNA of them little motherfuckers, then that's another story. but they are kids. Now, if I have to send you off to somewhere to stay with your mama, okay, then that's the plan I came up with in case it goes left. I understand that. Cool, no problem. But I expect you to be here. I expect my wife to continue to help us build this thing, because I didn't do it by myself. We built this together. Then if and like I say all the time, if we rise together, then we may fall together. But you need to still be there. I shouldn't have to go looking for you to try to bring it back. Where you at? And all of a sudden you ain't come. Now I'm going to look at your side eye. I can't trust you no more, because the only reason why you back her, because I got back on my feet. And if I got to look at you like that, you're not worried enough to be my goddamn wife. You my goddamn ops. You my enemy. You're a friend of me. That's what you are. Smiling in my goddamn face. Shout out to the goddamn OJs. Stab me in my back, man. That's what you are. Because now I got to look at you right. I can't even trust you. I can't even believe you, because how do I know you're not going to do this again if I come to another valley? How do I know you're not going to do this again if we hit on hard times? And it could be your goddamn fault you hit on hard times. It could be some mistake that you did or something that you caused. But you expect me to be there, right? Me not taking our kids and running off and being about, man, he did that. That's her fault. No, you expect me to be there, just like I expect you to be there for us. When these young boys and these young girls are talking about getting married, and the mindsets of what I'm hearing on this show right now, yeah, it's tough. It's tough, because I expect my son to go out here and wed a great woman who's going to be there, because y'all said them same goddamn vows in front of them witnesses, in front of your pastor, your preacher, your minister, or whatever title you give them. But yet you really didn't mean them. You said them because it was a fashionable thing to do, or it's just because they said it's what you're supposed to say. You didn't mean them, because if you meant them, you'll stick with whatever happens, good, bad, or indifferent. But that's not what you want. We want to be there when it's not raining and the sun is shining and all that good stuff. But when it storms, yeah, we trying to get the hell up out of there. I'll leave it there.
All right, y'all heard what Hank said, man. Men like to feel safe as well, ladies. Go
But
ahead.
if the girl mess up, take the kids. That's the difference between me and whoever you comparing this imaginary statistic to. If the woman mess up, you take the kids. If she fuck up, take the kids. I'm not gonna be in a situation where I'm gonna fuck up because I'm following him. That's the whole point. You know what? Fuck it. I don't care. Whatever.
You're not, because if you follow me, you'll be right there with me when I'm down, and you'll be right there with me when I get us
Yeah,
back
but
up.
we have to
And you're
send
not.
our children somewhere to be safe, or they can get
We don't
taken.
have to do anything, but
Boy,
be the parents that we
y'all
need.
are
Boy,
wild.
I don't think there's no boys up here, but you have to do what you have to do. And y'all the one brought this extreme of homelessness.
Please,
And then
but
my
y'all,
man Nia,
I took it to the extreme. I was just
you brought it there. You said it. Well, what if
private conversation, and y'all took it as the
because you
entire
said it. You brought it to the court like it could happen.
The crazy part about it is I'm not even trying to be one-sided. Whoever fucks up needs to take that and eat it. You fucked up. But you need to make sure that whoever is the money maker, you need to make sure the rest of your family is good. Even if they were like, yeah, go ahead, baby, or go ahead, honey, the woman, if you fucked up in an investment, whatever it is, to the extreme, you need to make sure the rest of the family is good. That's all that I was saying. Y'all look way too deep into shit per usual. And all that I was saying was trying to make a fine line between a woman leaving on her stupid ass own and a woman being directed by her lover, or a man being directed by her partner to be safe. That's all that I was drawing out. And now all of a sudden, no, y'all don't do this and y'all don't do that. Nigga, all I was trying to do was make a clear line for the people that are listening in the comments what the difference is between somebody leaving on their own like a bitch and somebody's staying and being directed to leave for safety. And now all of a sudden the women don't know what they doing. Y'all get on my fucking nerves, bro.
Man, they
Okay.
fucking weird, Coach Z. I understand. Go ahead, Miss Taken.
All right. So, again, I wasn't trying to go to the extreme. That was just trying to level set where my sister was. That's it. But speaking of extremes, just like y'all used that extreme as an example, and then Hank said, "Oh, we make one mistake, and then y'all are out." I think that's an extreme too, because a lot of times, and just in general, what happens is a consistency, right? A consistency of outcomes. So if you are a leader, you're my husband, and you consistently make decisions that has a positive impact to our family, right? When you make that mistake, you've already had a history of making the best decisions for us. So it's easy to take that hit because you've already built a structure in which we can depend, we can trust you, and trust that when you make that mistake, you're going to get us out of that, right? So that's where that comes. I think a lot of women fall into a place where there may have been a time where your consistency was the opposite of that. Your consistency kept them in the valley as opposed to being on the mountain. So now that leads to me second guessing, or a woman second guessing your decision-making skills, right? So when I think True asks, at what point is the breaking point, or what point is enough, or something like that. And that's my answer to that. It's the consistency that you've already built, right? It's the deposits that you've already made. So then when it's time to withdraw, you're like, okay, man, he made a mistake. How are we gonna fix it? Right? And then on the opposite end, I also think too, when we're talking about getting married and getting married young, that's where a lot of the mistakes should occur, right? When you're married young, you have less life experience. You don't know a lot. And this is the stage in which you are building and learning, right? But I think there is a difference between waiting and you're getting married in your late 30s or, early 40s. There shouldn't be a whole lot of time that's spent in the valley, right? Because you've had a bulk of experience to make and learn from decisions. And I think you have to take that into account. And then also, I think both people sometimes come with trauma, and their response to certain things of total trust, that also has to, the safety mechanism for that is also great, consistency. I'll land it there. So my time's out. I'll leave it.
I appreciate you, Miss Taken. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. There have a few super chats come through. Bruiser says I'm available for the last spot, bro, with the $2. Brother, a member, $2 super sticker. Thank you. Brother again with the 99-cent super sticker, also a member. Brother again, also member, $5 with another super sticker. I want to thank you guys for contributing to the platform. All I'm asking for you guys to do is just hit the like button and share the stream. Let's go ahead and keep it moving. This is still pertaining to the same topic. Let me do a well-being check. You guys are good? Yeah? Mont, you good?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, I'm going to come to you next after this video just because we haven't heard you in a while. All right, here we go.
Daughters need to date blue collar men. I don't care. I stand by it and I stick beside it, and here's why. Blue collar men, me and my best friend are both eldest daughters, okay? And we're eldest daughters of African households. So if you know anything about being an oldest daughter, especially like immigrant parents, you're not the man, but it's kind of close to being the head of the household, right? You need to date a blue collar man. Even if you don't marry him, that's okay. You just need to talk to a blue collar man and your standards will change. They will raise so high. I still to this day tell my best friend about this blue collar man that we talked like 2 years ago. To this day, I still bring him up because I'm like, that was a man. That was a man. Here's the thing. If you're dating an eldest daughter, don't come without resources. Don't come without competence. Don't come without intelligence. Don't come empty-handed. Don't come with no plan, with no schedule. What's the plan? Okay, don't come loose. Oh, I want to date. I want to talk. When? What time? So I can put it on my calendar. When? What day? Like, don't come loose with no structure to an eldest daughter. That's the fastest way to lose her. She's going to lose interest in you because you have no plan. What's the day? What's the time? What's going on with it? Nothing is together. Okay, well, we're moving on. We have things to get done. A blue collar man, though, they can build stuff. Like, they can do handy things that eldest daughters can't do. Here's a problem with eldest daughters. They lose, like, admiration for men because they can do what the man can't do. So when you have a blue collar man, he like blows that out of the water because you can't look at him like he's incompetent or like he's not a man because he can do what you can't do. He can chop wood. He can build stuff. He can do car stuff. Like, it leaves a woman, an eldest daughter, in awe. You're like, oh my gosh, like a man that's actually more of a man than what I can do? Yes. And then you're like so infatuated with him. I'll just give you a quick story. One day I was cold, right? We were like together and we were in this house and I was cold and I was like, oh, like I'm so cold. Guess what he says? He doesn't say, let me get you a blanket. He doesn't say, oh, we can cuddle because ew. Like, that's not going to keep me warm, right? He doesn't say, oh, I can make you warm. No. He doesn't say, let me get you a blanket. He doesn't say, let me turn the heat on the AC. Y'all know what this man did? Y'all know what this man did? This man went outside, got wood, chopped it up, did whatever he did, threw it in the fire, and made like a wood fire pit thing. That's a man, honey. Get you a handy man. These little fashion boys not doing it. You need a handy man, a man, masculine, okay? That's my tip to all the eldest daughters. You're going to be eldest daughters of African households.
What you throw it thinking, Mont?
That's funny. I mean, because we essentially learned that he had a fireplace, and he went and got some wood, put in the fireplace, and that turned her on. Yeah, I think she's I don't think that I think she's misinterpreting blue collar man versus just like a masculine man in general. I think masculine men like to do stuff like that. Like, I don't, I remember I bought me I had built my lady a garden, like raised garden beds, just because like I wanted to. I never learned how to do it, but I'm like, I want to build you something, so I did it. So I don't think it's necessarily about being blue collar, but I do think it's all about, just being a masculine man. When you get around a woman and you feel some type of way about her, I think it makes you even more masculine. It makes you want to be more. It makes you want to, you get a little bit more protective. You get a little bit more of everything that you are. Same way, a woman get around a man that's masculine, she gonna get more feminine. She gonna, you might know a girl who got a deep voice. She like, why your voice soft around him? Like, why your voice get real high around that guy because he handsome or you like him or whatever. Like, women get more feminine around, around certain types of men and vice versa. We get more, we get more masculine. So I don't think that it's necessarily being blue collar. I think she just like a masculine man, and that was the first example she's probably ever, seen or had of it. So yeah.
All right, anybody else can chime in?
I will. I think she did too much. I'm not saying anything about blue collar men. I love them. I'm just saying it's nothing wrong with them. It was like the little slight thing she was saying, like, oh, you guys can do what eldest daughters can't do. Like, are you equating who they are as men and their masculinity to your disillusioned femininity with like undertones of masculinity? Is like, what are you talking about? Because you could bring in a man that's not a blue collar, somebody that's maybe white collar or more of a scholar, and he can make you feel like you're dumb. You could say some things like it'll be necessary for you to get a thesaurus or a dictionary. So it's not necessarily the physicality. It could also be the mentality. So I just thought she was making a lot of stupid points surrounding great men. And it's like, oh, I would just be at awe. Like, he can chop wood and bring it in. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that's great. That's fascinating. But for you to kind of be like pedestalizing that while steady, like, oh, if he was such a great man, because she was also saying like, I always bring him up, but if he was such a great man that you're making this video about to this extent, why are you not still with him? Like, what happened? Because you had him and then you don't. Like, I just was trying to understand what you mean. If you're saying like this guy is great and then he's gonna make you raise your standards, to what though? Because I mean, you was almost saying like he was the epitome of a man. So what's after him? I was a little confused. It was a lot of BS talk, but again, don't get me twisted. I love blue collar men. Just saying. I just don't like the way she framed it and how she used it. Like I said, she was taking shots while still trying to like highlight them. So I couldn't really get with that.
All right, go ahead, Coach. Then I
don't think that what she was describing was a blue collar man. I think what she was describing, my type, was more of a country man. I don't think it has anything to do with what he does for a living. Like, I know attorneys and I know chemists, and I know architects that can do what she said, that chopping wood, sis. So I think maybe everybody should look for that. And I don't know her age, but because black don't crack, but I think that maybe because of maybe where she's from or her age group, that was super impressive. But that is like for a lot of grown women, millennials, that is like all automatic for us, I think, unless they like city girls. But I just think that blue collar and country, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not just country. I like using the word country, but very, help me, y'all. We're on a panel. You can be country, but you're also crafty. Men are attracted to women because you can build me closet, you can build me fire, you can make me, because most of those men also can soup. They can cook. They come with different characteristics that a lot of these city boys don't have. And I think that putting them attaching them to a specific type of job or career is absolutely insane. Because I know dudes that wear ties at work or lab coats at work that will definitely come make me a fire, will wrestle an alligator, will shoot deer, will catch some catfish and fry it up and do all of those same things. And he got a code switch where during the day you wouldn't even recognize him, but you like that side of him too. So sis was tripping a little bit. I'll land there.
So it sounds like, I'm sorry, it sounds like pretty boy versus industrious. Just saying. Like, we like industrious men. Just saying.
I mean, some of the dudes that do that be pretty too. I don't consider mine ugly. I don't necessarily consider him pretty. He said he built his girl a garden. I'm trying to get me an elevated garden. Like, so he not ugly. So I wouldn't even compare it to that. It's just
First
like
of all,
how
don't
you
do
were
mine
raised,
like that.
how you
Mine is
decided to
gorgeous.
expand. I know he got a lady. I'm not being
Yes,
disrespectful, and
baby.
I'm probably old enough to be his mom. But I'm just saying, like, I don't think we can put it to looks too, because the guy I like right now, he is
Look,
it. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But he definitely can do all that other stuff. So that's just a plus for Mont right here, y'all. He already got a lady. But if y'all can teach yourself and learn how to do that, women love that shit. We love it. That's just real primal. You feel me? And it don't even go down to the fire. He went to the box and building her a garden and all that. Customize my closet. Like, yeah, we love that shit.
So you want him to change the tire instead of calling AAA?
It depends on what we're trying to get now. Well, it depends on what he got on, because I want him to be comfortable. If he's suited and booted, nah, baby, don't change that tire. If he can afford to have AAA come and do it for him, no. Call AAA. The fact that he knows how to do it though,
right?
all day, every day, buddy. You get whatever you want from me.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, I don't know. I will kind of consider myself a blue collar because I do remodeling jobs. But I'm not doing any of those things that you're talking about, and that the lady's talking about. Like, I just make sure the house is warm. I pay the bills. I'm just doing the minimum. I'm not going extreme, and
But
all
you can
that is just
learn though. It's on YouTube. Just like you on
yeah,
this podcast.
yeah. But it's not
Learn.
that to me. To me, it's not that important.
What? It's important to her though. We telling you
Yeah.
as older women.
No, yeah. The main primary thing that I consider important is the most important thing, which is a nice home, a nice home. I'm doing my part, making sure as the man I'm paying the bills. I'm doing what I got to do as my part. I work. I do as if I have to do double, triple shift to make money. If I had to find more contracting job to do, I'll get all those things done. But all the romantic thing is not me. I don't. I'm not gonna go outside. Hey, can you build something, put some wood in there? No, no, like you go to Home
But you
Depot
can
and go buy
learn
it.
though.
No, just go to Home Depot. You got money on the card, go buy it. I'm not doing any of those type of things.
It's so much better when y'all
I'm
outside sweating though. I'm telling you, young. I don't
that's
know how old you are, but when a woman can sit with some sweet tea and watch you build some stuff,
yeah. I mean,
I'm telling you right now,
just come
you
to
can
my
have
job.
whoever you want.
Sounds
Yeah,
like a
just come to my job. You'll see, where I'm getting the check from. You will see me doing the work, but I'm not coming here and doing that work here though. Come to my work. Sit down, get your tea. You can see me work all day. You could be there with me
You
24
can
7.
hang the pictures even, and we like it. Jr., where you from? You from? Are you from Chicago? Or you just live there?
I'm from Chicago.
Oh, okay. I was just because them Southern men, I'll be like, Jesus, they be there. They'll make your kids a swing set. I'll be like, woo. But then they be demons too, so you got to figure that out. But on the other end, when you find a good one that don't know he could be a demon and he not a demon, I'm just saying, go figure that out. Guys in the chat, it don't necessarily have to be you, Naya, but guys in the chat, if you can figure out why her garbage disposal don't work, figure out how to hang her pictures up, give her Monty, give her a garden, bro. I'm telling y'all, yo, right there, instant lubrication.
Now I would do that if I'm trying to hook up with her.
But why
but
not do it for the woman you like? Like what?
No,
we
she
love
got everything. That's all. She got everything that she needs. She got above and beyond for me. Everything that she needs. If she want to work, she work. If she don't, she don't. Everything that she needs, she got. The other ones, she only getting big
Who is
pieces
that?
of
Who
me.
is that? Yes, when y'all sweating, y'all smell better. I'm telling you. Oh my God. I love black men and I almost gave up on y'all, but I found me one. But I love when y'all sweating and y'all working. Jesus. Like, I'm telling you, it's the small things. Oh, can you put together my that's why we losing now. You know what? I don't even agree with him, but I agree with him on that. But I'm telling y'all right now, that primal stuff, ooh, women love that to this day. To this day.
y'all just want too much. Yeah, y'all want everything. That y'all just want too much. I hear you though, Coach Z. I know what you're saying. It sounds like abuse. Like the man, you want him to be super intellectual, romantic, tall, chiseled. You want him to know how to plan dates. You want him to know how to build a house. You got to have a mean right hook. You got to know how to shoot straight on one foot, drive backwards, world travel. Stop it, yo. You're not going to get all of this stuff. Most women ain't worth all that stuff. Get a dude that does it for you. That's cool. But telling men to go outside and chop freaking wood, I'm with Naya on this one. Run that MasterCard, Uber Eats that joint to the house. F her. She cold, put a blanket on, put 2 pair of socks on. I'm not going outside swinging no freaking hammer. Not for you to be excited and go, ooh. If you ain't excited when I walk through the door, you're gone. It's just that simple, yo. Like,
I agree. Like be humble,
But
be
we
appreciative of what
telling
you
you
got.
what it takes to keep it throbbing, and you're in denial about what I'm telling you as a woman that when y'all do the minute thing, primal things, and that you know what? Let me tell you something. The height, the job will be deleted. Who is that? That's that's my car game. Exactly. That all of that will be, you can delete height. She don't care about that. She don't care about how in shape you are. If you can build something or make her life easier or fix something, she gonna forget all that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the key. That is the game. And you're welcome. Everybody in the comments, these dudes on the panel may not want to listen. Monty got the game already. Somebody taught him. But what I'm telling you is, if y'all know how to fix some shit or make it look like you fixing some shit, she gonna be like, damn.
I hear you. It just sounds like instructions. Like,
No, it don't. It gotta be voluntary, because you'll be out like that. No, I got you, boo. Your garbage disposal ain't working. You get under there and start sweating.
It doesn't necessarily
Immediate sex. You feel me?
It's more
immediate.
Taking care of it, right? Kind of like what Nia was saying. For some, it is about fixing. But I would say for the vast majority of women, it's not necessarily that you have to fix it, more so than just taking care of business. So even if you don't know how to fix a tire, but my tire is flat, or the treads are low, that you just take care of it. That all goes along the same lines of what like trying to say. Just knowing that you can take care of some stuff without having to be directed. Y'all don't like being told anything anyway, but not, like you're just on guard. You're looking like, my husband will come out and he'll get on me. Like, look at your tires. You've been driving around with your tire. You got balls. Like, you need to learn some of this stuff. But then it gets taken care of, right? So I think that's more along the lines of what Cookie is saying. No, you ain't gotta go outside and chop some wood. Like, indirectly, it's like, it's cold. You took care of. You found a way to make sure the house got heated. You know what I mean?
But we do like how y'all smell when y'all sweating, though.
I ain't gonna
so
lie.
however you gotta sweat.
I think Cookie has. Cookie, do you need something to fix up in your house?
What'd you say?
I said, do you need something fixed up in your house? I got you.
Now I'm good right now. Now I got a condo. I got people taking care of that. But the dude, turtles, straight country dude, love it to death. And he white collar. So I'm just saying, like, I'm telling you why you can be white collar and
I'm just listening to this bullshit. That's all I'm doing.
If you can't fix nothing, just say that. You feel me? But don't be trying to come in and crash out on the men that know how to fix stuff. Because if a man can change my alternator,
you thought Mott was a hell of a. Mott could throw a few railroad ties together and fix you a guard. That's cool. But Mott will tell you in a minute he's not fixing shit. He'll tell you.
But that ain't what he just said, thoe.
No.
For the woman that Mott got, apparently so. He made her a garden.
Okay, God, I say he could throw some tire rails together and then put four together and call it a garden.
I bet Mott was out there in a wife beater, sweating, and that was instant gratification. Is what Mott got. You can talk all the shit that you want.
But Mott was also the one. I'm gonna let you get it all off.
Oh my God!
You got that gawk, did you?
God,
don't let the heat allow you.
No,
he fixed it and got what he wanted.
Me and Mott had a conversation before, so I ain't gonna lie on Mott. But Mott will tell you, I'm gonna call somebody to get it fixed for me. He's tell you, I ain't changing no tires. Mott told us this.
Yeah, that's fine too. That's attractive. But the fact that he went outside. When he went outside and made the garden, that's all I'm talking about. He got some man in his life gave him the game.
Tell this woman what you did with this garden.
I think people think when I'm on a panel with Willie, y'all think everything Willie says is what I say. I think that's what I never said I would never change a tire. I actually I told a story about how I changed my girl tire. But she got an Audi Q8, but the new tires are so weird. It took me a couple hours to try and everything is different now. It wasn't like a traditional changing the tire. So I said I should have just called AAA. But yeah, it depends on the type of car you got. If it's an old car, yeah, you can change the tire real quick.
Don't change nothing about yourself, young Monty.
But
Women love that shit.
I think we misinterpreting what the ladies are saying. They're not saying that you got to fix everything in the house. I think they're saying that when
I'm not listening to these women. I'm not listening to the goddamn thing they say because they already told us that when it gets bad, they got the goddamn track shoes on, and I expect that. Shout out to these women.
There you go. Yeah,
That's not what we said, Hank.
I mean,
that is not what we said.
I didn't say all of y'all.
Well, I mean, you didn't.
There was ones that on here
I
that
ain't
said
say that either.
There was ones on here that said we gone. We out this piece. We gonna get the goddamn deuces.
I'm just saying, you put a blanket on.
My friend beside me, my docile buddy beside me said, "I got that money just in case."
Why you?
That's what my docile buddy said. Ain't that right, buddy? That's what my buddy said. Shout out to my buddy.
Y'all can listen to Hink if y'all want to. I'm telling you right now, go learn how to fix some shit, and you'll pull whatever female you want. She gonna be like, "Ooh," and next thing you know, she'll be following behind you like a little puppy.
I remember when I first met not my first met, but like after I was dating my lady for a little bit, and one of the things she told me that she liked about me was that I was building my own desk. When she can't, like when she would come to my house, she would see that I'm, she would see the wood and she would see that I'm, all the equipment that I had, and she just said, "Yo, you was building a desk," and I just thought that was like, that was one of the things that attracted me to you. So
my lady told me when she walked into my spot and seen that everything was organized. And I had pictures on the wall, and that I had style. She like, "Oh snap, grown man stuff." Like all the other stuff building came later, but that wasn't what drew her.
That's one of them too, though. You didn't let me finish. We were just talking about building, but when we come in your house and it feels like a home, panties fly off. So good for you, True.
You gotta let him finish.
Good for you. Hey, I'm not a
Ooh la
hater.
la.
He builds. True got a nice crib. I don't know if True got a gal, but ladies, he got a gal. True, I'm not sure, but True got a nice house, and I'm pretty sure it smells good too. I'm just giving you the game. Women like what they like. Am I lying, mistaken? Who is it? Naomi, am I lying right now? That is simple. Thank you.
I ain't go front. I met my husband in college, so he was sharing like a house, and they had their own rooms in the house, and then the shared kitchen and all of that, and their house was a mess. I don't even see how he lived in it, but I went in his room spotless. I'm like, oh snap! So it does that. I ain't gonna lie, it does do something when you see a man that got his stuff together. It does.
She thought my spot was an Airbnb. Like she really was like, "You don't live here," and I'm like, "What?" I got pictures of my family on the mantle. Like, who does that in an Airbnb? But she really did think it was an Airbnb. I guess chop wood, or I don't know, man. I didn't know it existed. I just thought being a man, you just take care of wherever you reside. You structure your life.
And that is attractive.
I gotta go get help, get these groceries in so I could build my refrigerator back up. Is that okay with y'all?
That's
doubt.
right.
Yes.
Go get some groceries.
If we pull up and there's hella groceries in the car and you come out and you're like, "I got it," after we've been in the anxiety store.
You don't even have to call and be like, "Yo, I'm about 3 minutes out. Can you meet me out front?" If you pull up and they already waiting for you, that's
We're gonna play this next clip, man. Some of y'all getting moist on the panel.
So. Exactly.
But I do think that we misinterpreting what the ladies are saying, and I understand what True is saying. Like women, there's more than women. Like she's not saying that, "Oh, I only like blue collar men who do masculine physical work," right? Because women love a man with a clean house. They love a man who got his shit together. In general, like all of these things are things that are going to attract women to you, But just like they're attracted to men who build things, even if you don't know how to build things, the fact that you learn how to build something will attract them. The fact that you might have grown up building things would attract them. Like all of these things can, are things that women like. So
that there's a line to it though, Mont. Because if you show her that you know how to build them little boats or them like little geeky joints, you got gonna think you're a weirdo. Like, let me show you my, you know what I'm saying? Like,
maybe depends on the woman.
this
Wait, what is he saying?
I think Bo would like that.
You know, like super artsy. Like if he builds certain things that ain't so like, I guess.
No, any real woman that was raised with a father that sees that you can build, it don't matter what it is. We don't care. If you built it with your hands, immediately ready to join your squad.
I don't think this is sound advice about building, but you know, just make sure you get it done. You know, like one way or the other. If you got to pay. If you got to just get it done. You know, I think that's more sound because you're gonna make these men do some extra stuff, and they're still gonna get their feeling hurt.
It's about yeah, if they got the wrong woman, I'll agree with that. But I'm gonna tell you,
Yeah,
over the
exactly.
age of 30, well, nah, I don't know, but
It just has to be
you
a
got to
need
make sure you with the right female.
So what about
it
it?
would have to be a need that's fulfilled, and each woman needs may be a little different. Like I know, like even with like one of the things like with my dad that I saw growing up, and it just made me think he was just so strong. Like he ain't talking about bringing in the groceries, but like we, you know, lived in an apartment. We lived on the 7th floor, so it wasn't easy trying to go back and forth getting the groceries. And I remember just seeing him have like
one trip,
all the groceries in like
one
one
trip.
It was 6 of us, you know, we carry some of the, you know, the bread, you know, give us the kids the light stuff. But seeing him carry all of those groceries for some reason stuck to me in my mind growing up. And then when me and my husband got together and we got our like own place, and I didn't, you know, say anything, but then I saw him get all the groceries. You know, like it was just something that was just so sexy to me because I saw that as being very manly and strong. So
Our dads are our Superman. We want our Superman.
They have their own thing. But my dad was also a fix-it. My husband was not. My dad grew up, you know, in the country, and they were poor. So they had to learn how to do a lot of things on their own because they didn't have the money to pay for it to get done. My husband grew up totally different. You grew up in the city, a lot of things that went wrong in the house, you just called the super. You know, he didn't have the opportunity to learn fix a car. I mean, you could just either walk places or catch the train. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't have to do that. So that wasn't necessarily initially a thing, right? Because everything was taken care of. But then when we moved here and got our house, it was a lot that he didn't know, but he took the time to learn. So I think that's the other part that he was saying. Even if you don't have the skill set initially, and when you're in a situation where the skill set may be needed, to be open to learning that or figuring out a way to get it taken care of. That's all.
I grew up in Tornado Alley. I'm sorry. I'll let you go because I know Shrew had something to say. And we would lose shingles all the time. And my mom would sit outside with lemonade, handmade lemonade. And I never understood it till I got grown. And my dad would get up on the roof and he would fix our shingles. And she absolutely loved the fact that he could get up on the roof and fix the shingles. So what was you saying? I'm sorry, True. We cut you off, but you were saying something.
I think we gotta get Bo in there. Bo got something to say.
Go ahead, Bo.
Okay.
Mic check.
Nah, go ahead, because what I want to say was long past. I've been trying to get in for so long. I don't even know what it was. It don't even matter.
You got to give us the church finger, and we'll shut up.
But why is this topic upsetting the men? I don't understand. I'm trying to understand. Is this not y'all per se, but yeah, just in general. I'm reading some. I'm just wondering, like, why is this a hot
because
topic?
they don't know, Monty. They don't know how to figure it out. But when it's very simple, women are simple creatures.
I mean, I think one way is just learn how to make them laugh.
No, you're not. That's not.
But we are, though. Certain women are simple creatures. I'll put it that way. I'll give you that. I'm a simple creature, but I can't put that on everybody.
See, I would say if you're able to make a lady laugh, I think you could still get whatever you're trying to achieve. Like if you talk to them, make them
I
laugh.
can agree
In
with
my
that.
opinion, that's because you don't really got to do much if you could make them laugh.
I agree.
It's two. To me, it's two things. You gotta at least look like you're stable. Sometimes that's what most guys dress on nice. And if you're capable of communicating or just making them laugh. Like one time I told one lady, I said, yeah, look, the sunset is amazing, right? She was like, yeah. I said, yeah, that's me and you in it. Yeah, that's
And she
stupid.
laughed.
Yeah, she laughed. She actually laughed. She said, ha ha ha, but it's dumb, but it worked.
That nigga,
I'm tired of you, JR.
nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay.
He called a gay stray. I know that's right.
I think you need to go on YouTube and learn how to build because we still like the sweat smell.
No, yeah, no. I'm gonna take a
It's
bath.
I'm
I
telling
don't know
you,
that
it's
though.
the
But
easiest. You know what you can start with, and I'll let JR take back over because it's his show. You can start with window gardens. They're small, and you can teach them to learn to cook, to grow basils and like pesto stuff and just small stuff. And she'll be like, "Oh my god!"
wait, you saying the man should cook?
Hold on.
No,
It's
you
cool.
make the herbs for the bitch to cook. Hello, I've brothers. Now, if you build something on her window and be like,
Hello,
"This is how you take care of
motherfucker.
the herbs," and then she got basils and all kinds of other herbs, and then she can use those instead of going to HEB, that's Texas, to the grocery store. Yeah, I'm telling you, hey, y'all can believe me or not. Ask Monty. He knows he's got his girl in a chokehold, I'm sure.
I'll just go to the store and just buy the material needed to cook.
Right. Okay, you don't have to listen.
Say that firstborn daughters are gatekeepers of their father's house and gatekeepers of the men they marry. The greatest mistake you can try and do is to ukulobola a firstborn and make them property of your bloodline. It does not apply to a firstborn daughter because she's 10 sons that are belonging to the other side. And a lot of men are very frustrated in trying to completely colonize a firstborn through marriage and say, when in reality, you are never meant to leave your father's crawl. In your own wisdom and in your own gifting, in your office, Marcos, because I don't want to do the talking. You are a fountain we are going to draw from. There are firstborn daughters out there.
Yeah.
Who are relationships 70 to 90% for firstborns are not good because the dating pool for firstborn daughters is very small.
Yeah.
Very, very small because you've got very few men that can carry you. So, Makosi, what do you say from you're in office? Because I'm coming into Mkabai. You are the face of Mkabai as nation builders.
Yeah.
But here there's a woman asking, I'm a firstborn and I'm tired of relationships because men accuse me of being too loyal to where I'm coming from. And that is a character trait of a firstborn. You cannot they never leave the crawl. One foot is in the husband's crawl, one foot is in the father's crawl because you are forever assigned to make sure your father's house does not fall.
So is this the clip that I missed? Or is this a different one?
No,
I'm sorry. Can somebody kind of summarize what he said? I'm not gonna lie. I had a hard time with the accent.
Okay, go ahead.
I just put that in the chat.
I'm African.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Was this your clip?
Can you summarize
No,
what
that
he
ain't my
said?
clip. I never uploaded it. Pretty much, in short, he's just saying that it's hard for a certain man to take care of the firstborn, and the firstborn have a very important role. They got to take care of their fathers and mothers, and also the husband. Is that true? In short, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
So you guys really can understand the accent?
It was a
You
little
heard what I said.
That's a shame.
It was a little difficult. I was
Shame.
going to take some notes. I took a few.
I
But
understood him.
I'm very, very ashamed.
All right, go ahead, Bo.
I understood what he was saying. Basically, like, The oldest is gonna always have one foot in her father's house, one foot in her husband's house, and it's hard to deal with a woman who has been charged with taking care of her family, but also being married at the same time. And I can kind of understand that, but also men do have to understand that usually women are the ones charged with taking care of their family. Like when we get older, we're the ones that have to take on that role. Not a lot of men take in their parents to take care of them. So, and men don't want to deal with women who have been charged with that role, who do have to take care of their older parents, because it is still a part of Black culture that even though it's not a part of American culture at large, Black culture still says that we take care of our parents. We don't just throw them to nursing homes unless that is the unless that's the best case scenario for them. But a lot of men do not want to deal with the women who have been charged with that role, which leaves them alone, which is crazy. So, I mean, I get that it's difficult, but it's a part of life. And men wanting like these traditional roles and not accepting women who have taken on that traditional role, because that is a tradition of taking care of their parents, that always confuses me.
All right. Was that the video that I missed before? Yeah, it's a different video. I
That's
don't
a
know.
different video. New video.
Okay.
Okay, I'm a little confused
I have to say
because
something. Okay.
Hold on, now I got you. Go ahead, Pearl.
yeah, I'm not even confused. I just find it a little contradictory. If you know that this is the way that your daughters are set up, why are you not raising them differently? I may have to ask that, because it's like if I'm aware of this, it's not productive and it's not conducive, because you say if 70 to 90% of their relationships are basically trash, or they're not productive, or they're not progressive, and it's because they carry these certain characteristics or attributes, and then you say it's because the men can't carry them. I don't think it's necessary that the men can't carry them. It's the woman not fully immersing herself. Like, I thought that was the point of marriage. Like, the father gives his daughter to the husband. You can't still have one foot here and the other one there. Like, you're gonna have to decide, is your father your husband, or the man that you go out there and you actually want to build a life with gonna be your husband? Because you can't use like over loyalty as it's kind of like gas. No, it's not over loyalty. It's you have to transfer your loyalty to the new man that you're going to dedicate your new life to building. So I get like this whole independence, but I still think, why are we just focusing on the women? Because there are men who experience like eldest son syndrome. That's just eldest child. We spoke about that at the very beginning of this podcast. So I get why they kind of focusing on women, because I guess this is a problem that we have, and I guess it kind of correlates or spills back over to those masculine traits, and we connecting it. But we also got to look at it like these people who are not us, they're foreigners, they live differently, they operate differently, they raise their families differently. They're going to get different outcomes too. But in general terms, I just think that that's contradictory. You want your daughter to be a wife, but you're not composing her to be one. You're having her like straddle the fence. And I don't think, like I said, that would be productive or conducive. And it's already factual. 70 to 90% of the relationships aren't going anywhere. So they're not going to lead to marriage. So I'm just questioning how they think that that's going to keep working, that mindset that you're clearly saying is not working. But okay.
Go ahead, Nye.
Yeah, I'll go answer that. So two of my sisters are married now. What the guy is talking about? He's talking about at old age. Now, by definition, by default, the lady or the male will always think about their parents. You can't run away from that by default. So which means as the father and the mother is getting older, the lady, their child want to be closer or try to take care of the father or the mother. This by default. So it doesn't mean that as soon we give you to your husband, it doesn't mean that we want you right, come every time we call you, you be here. In fact, we're barely gonna call you. We're just gonna call you to check up on you. Oh, how you doing? How's the husband? You know how, let's say Ali, or how Abdul. You know how, oh, you know, sometimes you may tell us whatever that happened. Well, you know, we argued today. Well, you know, just give it time. Be patient. You know, eventually he will change. If you want me to talk to him, let me know. But how you doing? You know, how the kids? You're good. Blah 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 blah. You know, but ultimately, that's what um just to give you a better understanding. That's what they talking about. Like the older child, it doesn't have to be just a female. The older child just is default always caring about their mothers and fathers and making sure they're in better shape as they get older. So
But
I'm
and I
not sure.
get that.
You
So
talking
I'm
to us?
trying. I'm sorry, my bad, JR.
I'm not sure if True was talking to us because he on mute. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Pearl.
I don't know. I was thanking Naya for like the extra clarification, but I'm still okay. So it's once we get older, like you're saying, like we know that they're gonna naturally think about their parents, right? But if we know they're naturally gonna be thinking about their parents, shouldn't the husband already kind of be adjusting himself to know what's naturally gonna come? Like the parents are gonna age, they're gonna come with us, so we have to make a plan for them. That's why I was kind of saying it's not that I was just saying like once you marry, you know, your husband, it's forget your family. It's not that. I just think your dedication and your initial responsibility should be to your husband and to your family. But I get what you're saying, like when you added that clarification, like it's not necessarily right then and there. It's like after we age and our parents get there and now they're questioning like is the dedication more to you sustaining the health and well-being of your family, and then you're like neglecting the roles and duties of a wife with the husband. So that's why I was just trying to see what can we do to balance that out, because both of those are going to happen. I'm going to get married, and my parents are going to get older, they're going to age, they're going to get sickly. So how can we do this and not what both be doing like that? So that's why I was just trying to say that, but thank you.
right, yeah. You know, to me, by default, the man should already expect that. There's no and if or but. You know, you don't. I don't really think men need that much attention. I personally don't. You don't need that much attention. The food is in the house, everything look clean. And this is our culture. Everything look clean. I don't need that much attention from you. I don't need you. Hey, baby, come and touch me. Everything. No, 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 no. I like my little quiet, my little peace. That's how I concentrate. That's how I meditate when I just alone sometimes. If we need to have a man or woman time where we need to watch a movie, I'll sit down with you and do it. But like if your dad and your mother coming over, I'm already mentally prepared for this. I said, oh, but I know this is gonna happen. But you know what? I love her. All right, they could be in the basement. They got the basement. The basement is cool. You know, take care of them. Whatever, whatever. Anytime they need something, it's we already mentally prepare for these type of situation. And hopefully, by the time we get to that certain point, we are financially well to be able to take care of stuff like that.
I go ahead, Bo.
I was just gonna say that depending on situations, it's extremely hard balancing your married life as well as your responsibilities to your parents. And I know that you should, but I think that people don't know how difficult it is to do that. Um, Taking care of a parent with dementia. I'm up at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning because he got sundowning, like he's sundowning, and he's wandering, and people are calling me. I just lay down because I just dealt with him. Like I just went and got him and took him up to his room and locked him in his apartment. And then an hour later, they're like, "Your dad's wandering around again." There's not balance in all situations. And it does take a toll on marriages, which is why a lot of people get divorced later in life because people are not equipped for it. I was run down to the ground. I wasn't even married at this time. I couldn't even imagine if I had a husband and I had to balance that or kids. Because taking care of a parent with dementia is a full-time job. Even I'm at work, I have to leave work because he's fighting someone, or the ambulance is there because he calls the ambulance when he gets scared. Like it's just a lot of things. And I think that we don't face the real reality. Like people know it in concept, but you really have to understand that taking care of parents is not like my mom. She's fine. She's great. She can move on her own. She can cook. She whatever. Everything's not like that. Every situation is not like that, and we are not facing the reality of what old age does to our parents and how time consuming it is. And we get impatient with each other. We don't want to deal with it. There are a lot of people that clock out, men and women, just because they don't want to deal with that. But you got married for better or for worse. And that is one of those for better or for worse. I'm cool with. Like, it's hard, but that is an excusable thing. That is, baby, I completely understand. Even in my frustration, I completely understand. And there's absolutely no way that I would make my spouse pay for my frustration. That is, I am sat in this marriage, I am staying, and there is no giving up because I completely understand that situation.
But that's why. Oh, okay.
And
I was gonna say that's why I think it's selfish when people talk about not getting married and never getting married and stuff like that. I think it's very selfish because whenever I think about like when my mom went through a tough time, when something happened to my sister, like her husband did she was in shambles, but her husband for a whole year did every single thing. I never had to think about my mom because I knew that she had a man. I knew she had somebody who's gonna take care of her. So when I think about relationships, I think about that. And I think that people should seek a partner in life because life gets hard. And if you don't, all you're doing is putting more on the people around you who love you. You're gonna put more on your daughter, you're gonna put more on your sons, you're gonna put more on everybody, your friends, whoever it is. So I think that everybody should always seek out somebody to go through life with them, or else you putting that on everybody around you. So
I also want to bring this up. Can you guys hear me okay? And I'm gonna go to you, Naomi. I just want to say this real quickly. So Shan sent me this video over the weekend. It was a YouTube video as far as why marriages survived or lasted in the 1940s. And one of the things that they did was they was all living together. They were all living together, and when new married couples got married, they were in a house full of wisdom. Whenever things went wrong, the elders in the house would be able to guide them. And so I just thought it was kind of quite interesting because fast forward, I know times have changed, but everybody's saying they got their own agenda, their own mission, and it's getting away from the family. So it's kind of making me think about what Bo is saying is that if everybody was living up under the same
Hey,
roof,
Dad.
would that have been, you got to mute, mistaken.
Yeah, it was.
So if everyone was living up under the same roof, I'm wondering would there have been more support if everybody bought into the whole family mission and understood like what it was. They also mentioned too about when they got married, leaving wasn't an option. It was just their mindset was that when we got married, that this is forever. So they had duty in when they took their vows, and they just came together. It just kind of make me think about back then versus now. And I get we have a lot of different variables, so we can't really say. I'm not recommending everybody get married, but I'm wondering if we really get back and start making our households prioritize family. And even if you think about it, some people choose not to have kids. And to add on to what was just said about what Ma just said, when I kind of look at my family, there's some people that didn't have kids. And so it's going to be up to my kids and my sister kids to kind of carry it on. Like we are kind of dying off because people are not having kids. And I look at some of the people around me, it's just like there's going to be nobody to take care of you. Everybody else has passed away. And these are just people that I know. And they're lonely right now because they chose not to have kids. And then their brother may have had kids, but they doing their own thing. And so I'm trying to put all this up into a bigger outlook for this whole conversation, but it just kind of make you think about where we're headed and how it's going to look 20 years from now. And I also think about what I'm teaching my kids right now, because if we don't make a difference with our kids right now, they're going to keep repeating the same shit. It's going to keep getting worse. So those same traditions and prioritizing family has to happen with our kids right now, because it's going to look scary. It's going to look real scary. Go ahead, Naomi.
So I wanted to tie what you said, JR, back to what the man was saying in the video. So what he was saying in the video is that the eldest daughter's loyalty and responsibility, in essence, will never leave her father's house. And it kind of goes along with what Miss Pearl was saying about the responsibility. So what we talk about a lot is the responsibility of when you get married. Now I'm going to follow what my husband says. My husband is now my head. I'm the responsible of this household, and then move accordingly. Now, so I hear what you guys took it to another point as far as caring for your elder parents, but that's not what he's talking about in the video. He's not talking about caring for his elder parents. He's talking about a woman having one foot in her husband's home and then another foot in the responsibility of her father's home. And that's where we have to kind of see where that balance is in between that and split that. Because in essence, like tying it back to what you said, JR, when previously, when a young couple would get married, there was a family who came around them. There was a community who came around them. There was everybody being able to work together so that they can all be flourishing. And then there was the lineage of a household where everybody was, participating, encouraging, more kids were being had, and we kind of got away from that. Even when it came to now, there's no more community whoopings. I know your mama down here, and your neighbor could, whoop on, like your neighbor could check your kid, and then boom, you were like, listen, I saw you, I know who your mama is, type of thing. But we are so far past that now as a society, because nobody wants to worry about what anybody else is doing. Like, I'm gonna mind my business. If I see something, we've gotten to a point to where we're selfish, but I think it's a result of being responsible and accountable. The judicial system has come in so heavy to, I don't want to say punish, but like, so if I'm being a good Samaritan to my neighbor and they need CPR, I perform CPR. I could totally catch a case for performing CPR on my neighbor to save their life. If their child or their brother or somebody catches feelings to where they're like, no, she shouldn't have saved their life. DNRs in the medical field even come along to where it's even to that part. And I think if we don't address the fact that we're just not a family-focused society anymore, then we'll be able to begin to mend that gap. Because what he is talking about is how the eldest daughter is going to still begin to move as if she's a wife or mother to that family as far as responsibility while she's married to her husband. And a lot of men don't want to have to battle between that. We hear all the time on social media, who's going to sit in the front seat, my mom or my wife? Okay, that flip that around. And now we're talking about what the man's going to have to struggle with. Who are you going to obey, your father or your husband? And that's where it ends up becoming between the balance on whether or not are we going to do this or are we going to do that? It's a question of loyalty that a lot of men tend to, that you hear all the time on social media. Well, my daddy did. My daddy would do it. My daddy. But this is where that flip side is, to where this is now the man's perspective of the woman's version of who she'll actually follow or not, and then the man's version on where her loyalty will actually be. And I'll end there for now.
So let me say this, because this is funny. This is real funny. So can a man leave if you had to decide to take one of your parents in and take care of them? Does he have the right to leave? Because it's the same situation. Same goddamn situation. So it means if I'm the husband, you bring your goddamn daddy in. I'm out. I didn't sign up for this shit. This is not what I signed up for. I have every right. Well, no. You expect him to stay with you, to be right there with you and help raise take care of the daddy. Maybe even give that old motherfucker a bath or two. You know, help him put his goddamn shoes on, wipe his ass if need be, right? That's what you expect. But he has every right to say, fuck this, I'm out. Give you the goddamn deuces. Let me get my goddamn rainy day fund. I'm out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm gone. I'm not signing up for this. This is not what I went down the aisle and I promised the pastors. This is not the better for worse shit that I signed up. He has every right to get out, right? I know y'all agree with me. I know y'all don't disagree with me, right?
I do, because that's
every right.
no,
you goddamn right. You better disagree with me
the
because the same bullshit. If we gonna be if I'm gonna be homeless, you said you could take your kids. That's what you said. Y'all can take y'all kids and get the hell out of here.
I didn't say that.
No. That's what we'll say. I ain't say who. That's what we'll say it though. We have the right to get the hell on. So I got the right to take me and my craftsman tools and get the hell out of the marriage.
No, Hank, you signed up for marriage. It was for better or worse. This is the worst.
I didn't sign up to take care of this old motherfucker. I didn't sign up for that. That ain't what I agreed to. That ain't what we said we was gonna do.
Yes, it was.
But now I got to carry this burden.
Can we be honest? Most men don't.
No, I don't interrupt no goddamn body. Mistaken. I don't interrupt nobody. I listen.
Hank, my apologies.
I listen and I hear y'all out. I don't agree with some things y'all say, but I at least hear you out, right? Can I get the same respect? Thank you. So I have the right to take my shit and go because I didn't sign up for this. Just like you didn't sign up for homelessness. Okay, cool. If you leave, I got to accept that. You made a decision. You made the executive decision to take the kids. Y'all said my kids. Take my kids, not our kids. Y'all said my kids and get out of there. Well, I want to take my goddamn tools so I can go build a guard for some other woman and change the tires of some other woman. Because I'm not doing for you no goddamn more. Because you brought this Negro in here that barely liked me. He really don't like me. He just don't remember he told me he didn't like me. I remember. Yeah, I got the right to get the fuck on, right? That's the same goddamn situation. When things ain't going the way I think they're going, or things the way you think they should go, we got the right to get out. There's no stick witness. Now, I don't really believe that because if your father is like that, and I'm sensitive to the situation because why I experienced it. My grandmother, my mother, dementia, both of them. So I'm dealing with it. So I have a soft spot in my heart for that shit. So I already know. But I'm just saying in this scenario, it's kind of funny that the women expect, no, Hank, you should stay because of the situation. Okay, well, I expect you to stay with me when we're homeless too. And if we had to go to a hotel for a couple of weeks until we could get the shit back then we're going to do that. But we're going to figure it out. But no, that's not what I'm hearing. I'm hearing just the opposite. No stick witness. It's all for better, not for worse. I'll land there.
I like to say something.
Right on. Go ahead, brother.
All right. So, I think there's a big difference between the homelessness and this scenario. The homelessness, like what somebody said on this panel, we have seen you make multiple decisions that was wrong. You had multiple opportunity to prevent you going homeless. Even what the brother True said, well, you're not going to take the husband. And from my perspective, how I was looking at it as, wait, you homeless? Wait, why you didn't call me? You should have called me as soon as the first or third situation happened before you got into that terrible predicament where you got homeless. No, that means that you just holding a whole lot of pride. You know what? And my daughter and the kids, they're both outside. No. You want to hold that much pride and you don't want to humble yourself and come to me and say, hey, look, Steph, I messed up. I'm going through a hard time. Come to me as a man. I messed up. I'm going through a hard time and I really need help. Sure, no worries, because I don't want to see you or my kids and my daughter outside. I'm going to make sure I help you figure out how to fix that problem, even if it means money. I need us to sit there and come up with a plan. But if you went from you having a home all the way to you being homeless, that means that you was too prideful, in my opinion. You're too prideful. You couldn't come to me for help. My daughter talked to you about certain things. You refused to listen. And now you're homeless and you still thinking that you got this? Oh hell no, 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 no. Let her come live with me. You figure it out until eventually the world or nature humbles your ass. Then maybe you could walk back to me and be humble then. So that's where I'm trying to get at. Now with this one here, with the actual father, or the mother coming in, at least from me, my culture, we automatically expect this. This isn't no random thing. This isn't no I'm making bad decisions. This isn't no. This is I already know this is gonna happen. In fact, my wife, if she is my wife, will discuss this with me as gradually the man is getting sick, or the father, the mother is getting sick. After what's going on, she's getting older. Okay, all right. What are you trying to do, babe? Well, I'm thinking if maybe we could bring them here. I may not be with it, but you know what? Leave it alone. Okay, humble myself. Sure. The basement is okay. The kid. Your parents could be in the basement. So long. You know, you got to take care of them. Don't make it or go grab somebody to come take care of them. As long as it's not my responsibility, you got it. And if you stress,
That's
stop working, quit that job, and
right.
and start taking care of them 24/7. That's it.
Yeah,
But if it become a big issue, and I'm telling you that's when I'm gonna step out because I give you all the opportunity to make sure you take care of your kids. I mean, not your kids, your parents. I'm gonna
right.
land right there.
There you go. Go ahead, Coach Z.
He said, "I'm gonna step out."
I
God
think it. I
damn.
think it's funny, because okay, when we're talking about the sister, the older sister, and the daughter living in two different households, and blah blah blah. I think that's a reflection of how her father raised her, and then in that situation, you probably should dump her because she didn't have a good father. Hink. I think it's funny how you were able to say, I don't really think this about a dementia patient, but when I said it, you automatically think that it was fucking word to bond. And that's how I really think about a situation. So we need to really think when we're talking about analogies versus proving a point versus actually how we feel in a real life situation. Because you just did exactly what I fucking did. That's two. Second, I feel like if a person is or in a relationship, everything should be spoken about between each other. That's how I really feel in a situation, and that it all goes back to how you vet somebody and how you're going to end up in situations like this, in real life situations like this. You should know that these are conversations that you should be having before you get married. So there is no hypothetical situations. But for the sake of the panel, yes, I did a analogy and an example of how it is differentiated. And Hink also did the same thing when it came to bringing in a father with or a parent with dementia. That this is not how we really feel, but when it comes off as a certain way, that this is how some people will react to that, and this is how some women will react to bad decisions. So nobody, I need to y'all to understand this. Nobody on this panel, well, some people may be, no, but some people on this panel aren't speaking from their personal beliefs. They're speaking from situationals and trying to give you examples. If you think like this, then you can't be mad when Hink says this. And I completely 100% agree with Hink when he says, bitch, if you can run away with my children, you can't get mad because I don't want to take care of your dad. But you need to know that Hink, the person, does not believe that way, because if his wife's dad got sick, this is something they've probably already talked about. That would be something that he would be willing to take care of. And in my situation, y'all don't want me. I don't allow y'all to know me like that. Okay. But in reality, these are things that y'all should think about on a real standpoint before you get with somebody and say that you want to marry somebody. Are you willing to do this? I'm in a situation like that with a sibling. Do I want to take care of the sibling? Is this something that somebody that I talk to would be okay with? But because he's kind of somewhat in the same situation, that's something that we talk about and we would know from the beginning if that's what we want to do. So take the advice the way you want to And that's how I'm gonna end that and close, because it was a real big thing that y'all said that y'all didn't want to do. No, the fuck we didn't. We were giving examples of how that shit would pop off. And Hank, I love you, but you just did the same thing I did.
Uh-oh. Choosing violence. Mistaken. Then Mont. I'm gonna play this last clip, man.
Okay. So I think that the whole having the village, right? It's very important. Back in the day, we did have that. And I think, for better opportunities, families begin to separate, and then you kind of lost the village. Now you've lost the community as well, because when you didn't have your familiar village, at least you had a community to kind of step in, and now we've lost that as well. But in terms of parents, I think when you're married, it should be the expectation at some point that, your husband or your wife are going to have to contribute in some shape or form in terms of assisting with their parents. I don't know what that will look like for each person. That may be different, but a lot of I know, like I travel a lot, and in other countries, a lot of them don't even have like elderly care systems in place, because it's the culture of that society to take care of their parents. And so I think is this American mindset to be like, well, I saw somebody in comments said, don't get a home, with a basement, because at some point your spouse is going to think that that's where they're going to be able to keep their parent, if it, to take care of their parent. And it just automatically in my mind, like, okay, so what's wrong with that? Like my husband and I, we got 4 bedrooms and only me and him live here. We've already had conversation with my mother-in-law, like, yo, listen, you're not going into a home. Like I'm fussing at her about her coming here to our house because she wants to go to a home. And I'm like, no, they're not going to take care of you the way we're going to take care of you. My sister's currently in a process of taking my dad, but me and my other sister here are currently going food shopping for him, checking to make sure he's straight. Like that's what you do as a family. It says honor your mother and father, right? So even though me and my father don't have the best relationship, that is my duty and responsibility towards him for bringing me in this world. You know what I mean? So we all need to like come together. When you're spouses, y'all aren't just marrying each other. I know people disagree with that, but you're not marrying just each other. You are taking on some of the roles and responsibilities that were your obligation before you met your spouse. And they have to understand that as well. So I'll land a plane there.
Go ahead, Mont.
No, I was I earlier when he was doing the video, I guess I didn't hear him too well, Nick, because Naomi was saying that he was saying that even though she's my wife, she still has responsibility inside of his household. What was that responsibility he was talking about that she had?
I guess taking care of the husband, the responsibility to the parents would be making sure that the parents are okay and taken care of too. And more than likely, based on what Nia was saying, is that in that culture, it's the oldest child responsibility to make sure that the parents are okay.
Okay, and that's only in the event that something happens and they get sick or something like that, or is that what they was talking about?
So he was talking about it at the beginning about the difficulty of dealing with the eldest daughter. And the responsibility, because he said, he goes, she'll always be working in her father's house and she's meant to stay there. He used different examples, and I'm going to be honest with you, I don't remember the exact ones that he said and the words that he mentioned, but it was along those same lines.
Okay, cool. I guess okay. He was saying that's in his culture. I know me, like my woman's my woman. It ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. She over here now. So, we as a couple can help y'all out, and we gonna take care of our parents and stuff like that, but it ain't none of that. I had My lady told me when we was at her family reunion, she like, oh, my aunt gonna come talk to you about me keeping my last name. I'm like, you had that lady come talk to me about that if you want to. Ain't no way in hell you keeping your last name. If they didn't have enough boys, that's on them. Have some more babies. That's not my problem. Like y'all only got girls in y'all family. Have some. That's some nigga up somewhere made a mistake. He thought he could stop having kids when he had too many girls. It's not my problem. So yeah, my woman is my woman.
Her and
And
her garden.
that wasn't what I had set out. What I said was, the oldest child, pretty much what everybody else just said. Like, she is your woman. She's your woman. It's just as the parents get older, you got to consider the parents. It's not. This isn't a. When you marry the woman or the man, you're marrying the entire family to come with it. You just maybe don't know that, but you are. And in our culture, often the male who's trying to marry the actual daughter that's in, our sisters or whatever, they have to come in. You have to come, you have to talk to the man, we have to talk to you. So mentally that this woman here have a family. She's not no stranger on the road. And you've seen the brothers, they know, they kind of look scary. So they'll be asking you questions.
Yeah.
So, and then once we see that you legit sound mind, sound body, you really are attempting to get married or something serious. Look, she'll get married. We know we're trying to get rid of her. She need to go. Like, she can't be here anymore. She gotta go. And we just want to make sure she goes somewhere safe.
Yeah. I
That's
don't have
What's
no.
all.
your culture, if you don't mind me asking? I haven't been here in a while.
Well, no, I'm African, so I'm from the
Which
Mende tribe.
African?
I'm
Huh?
from the Mende tribe, Madinka. What they like how to like say African American got big Mading, you got big Madingo, something like that. And y'all never heard that before?
Mendingo?
Yeah, you heard that before, right? Yeah, so the Madinka tribes, so
Specifically,
Mende.
what African country? I think that's what she's
Oh,
getting at. Not
my parents
tribe.
them are from Liberia, but I was born in Guinea. So when they ask for, they're technically talking about my parents' side, but they're from Liberia.
Got you.
That
I
make
don't.
that makes sense.
Man, we
Yeah.
gotta watch. You gotta watch Nia, man. You on some freaky shit today. It seems like.
Stop playing.
I don't have a problem with anybody's culture. If that's their culture, that's their culture. I think, of course, it's a little bit different over here. We got a little bit more. It's just that we a little bit more scattered in when it comes to how we operate with that. But I think, for me, once my woman is mine, and we got our own family, and we, of course, it's a part of that family to some degree. But the whole her responsibility to come back and, like, I don't know how that sound to me. And I think for me personally, like, once even your dad becomes of a certain age, like, I'll become the leader of his family. I'll lead the whole family. Like, I'll be, we can bring that over here too. Like,
Yeah, that's the point. But you can't do that if you let him die lonely in a house. So,
oh no, we're gonna take care of him. But
okay, that's what I
that's gonna
figured.
fall on me. It's not gonna fall on my wife. That's gonna fall on me ultimately because I'm the leader. So I'm gonna make sure we take care of you. So
All right, let me go ahead and squeeze this last clip in. Y'all ready? Y'all good? Do a well-being check. Bo, you good? Okay. You talk to HR? No, not yet. Okay. All right. What about you, True? You good? All right. That's silent killers on the panel, man. Y'all log off and start raging. So I got to make sure y'all good.
I just think more of us should look into our African heritage. That's where some of us from. Some of us are local natives, but for the ones that did come from Africa, we should probably be listening to people like Naya, because our government ain't gonna tell us.
Try to get Aisha on the panel, man. Let me get Aisha and Marcus on the panel so we can start this FBA discussion right now.
Question: who's Cookies?
That's my old name. I was just gonna. Who's
Yeah.
that's me?
Oh well, guess what? I might have come fix your plumbing. Because this will be a match.
I don't understand.
No,
She's in
like
the
you know,
chat.
like plumbing, like
She's
God.
you
saying
know,
it in the
in a
chat.
yeah, it
Hey,
needs to be a match. Somebody come and fix that problem. Yeah, you know,
Who
you think
said
about
it would be a match?
Somebody's in the
God
chat
damn.
saying that. Look at the comments in the chat.
I don't
Yeah.
look at the comments in
Damn.
the chat. What they
My
say?
girl, look. You
JR, put
should.
some up. What they
God
say?
damn. I know
That
that's
you
right.
and Maya are match.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't worry. I could build that wood thing for you and make sure your light is clear.
Yeah.
You know, I could do all that.
Yes.
She already said
Yes.
You know, at the end of the day,
That's
everybody
right.
hate my guts, but at the
That's
end of
right
the
now.
day, y'all have
Give us
no idea how my inbox be flooded after these.
give us some of that man sweat.
Yeah, you know,
My
my
inbox
other
be
one ball
flooded
up.
after
That's
these
right, girl.
lives.
That's right. That's right. Show
They
your
act like they
armpits.
hate the comments and be talking shit, but then in the inbox,
Nah, we
are
joking,
hey,
man.
what's up? Nah, bruh, you was talking mad shit in the comments though. No, I got that taken care of. I'm good. I think, yeah, I'm good.
But now it's shooting a shot now. He said, fuck the
But no
inbox. I'm here.
shade, Naya. But I'm
Yeah, you
saying
know, I'm
somebody
single.
out there for you. But right
He said it's
now,
you.
You know, I'm
nah, right,
single.
nah.
The comment says me and you know, I'm with it. You know, if the comment say I'm
Hey,
there, I'm with it.
Naya.
You know, we can
Listen,
mingle anytime.
don't make me
Just
turn into a
me and
Texas
you.
girl real quick. Right
Just the
now,
two. I
right
know that's what they
now, I'm
shout out to
good. I promise
Tony.
you, I'm
Just
good.
me and you.
For them to assume that I'm single is hilarious, though.
Hey,
I
Naya.
don't, I don't, I don't think Nia can handle Cookie.
Ain't
No, they'll figure that.
What is wrong? Y'all
They'll
keep
figure
saying
it out.
that though. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I just be saying
Hey,
the truth, and a lot of people
but
don't like the truth.
soon as Cookie get mad, he gonna build a new guard for us. That's all right.
I only get mad
Maybe a
with
few bookshelves.
strangers. I only
Yeah,
get mad with
You-
strangers.
we got you.
But you right, Hink, though. Like, but nah, I'm good on that right now. I'm good. I'm good,
Keyword,
commenters.
Naya,
I
keyword
promise.
now.
I
Keyword is
got a
right.
soft line. Don't worry about me.
Don't
I
let
told
that
y'all though,
distract you, Naya.
when I actually try to
You
get
stay
into a
focused.
relationship, it's gonna happen. So
You stay
y'all,
persistent, Naya. Stay
Hey,
persistent.
Coach C, go ahead and add to your roster.
I don't have rosters. What made y'all think I'm a roster
Well,
female?
Naya said you got one now because he about to be the next.
yeah, I'm at the top of
Oh
the
my
list.
god!
That's right. God damn, he said he at the top of the goddamn list.
Man, off the market.
I'm done. I'm done
And on
joking.
that note, I hope that the guy, y'all leave me alone right now. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to put this last bit, man.
Firstborns who are married to lastborns have a lower divorce rate than firstborns married to firstborns. This is actually based on studies looking at how birth order can impact marital success. A Norwegian study highlighted that unions of individuals with different birth orders is actually generally more successful than unions of individuals with the same birth order. And this likely feeds into other research suggesting that birth order impacts personality. Dr. Kevin Lehman is a former family counsellor who wrote an article called How Birth Order Affects Marriage. According to Lehman, he said the general rule of thumb is that firstborns rule, middleborns mediate, and lastborns charm. And for that reason, you tend to see a higher divorce rate in people who are both firstborns because they potentially butt heads. The one divorce rate that is higher than a firstborn with a firstborn is an only child with an only child. Studies and data suggest that having siblings actually reduces a person's risk of divorce. When you're an only child, potentially you're used to being center of attention, and when you get with another only child, you're both fighting for that attention. So although I started this video saying the most successful marriages are when a firstborn marries a lastborn, yeah, that is true. But to be ultra specific, it's actually when a firstborn sister of brothers marries a lastborn brother of sisters. So just to reiterate, the highest divorce rate is only child married to only child, followed by firstborn married to firstborn. The lowest divorce rate is youngest child married to oldest child. And in between, you have the middle and middle and middle and lastborn and lastborn and lastborn. But I want to ask you, do you feel like there's actually a correlation there? Do you see the logic, or do you think it's all fugazi?
Be with someone that you do not have to parent, someone who is independent, someone who is reliable, someone who uses their initiative, someone who is intentional. Because you have spent so much of your life with so much responsibility on your plate, the person you should choose should be someone who can alleviate some of that stress, who can truly be your peace. You need to be with someone who is a giver and not just a taker. Because one thing about eldest daughters, we can give sometimes to our own detriment. You need to be with a giver, because if you're with a taker, you'll end up in such a cycle, and that is the truth. You need to be with someone who is super considerate, super thoughtful. And when I say super, and I'm exaggerating that because I'm not just talking the average, someone who is so kind and caring, who considers your needs, right? And who can help you develop a healthier dynamic when it comes to your relationships. Because there's one thing a lot of eldest daughters do to their own detriment is they pour so much into their partner because they're so used to pouring. No one fills their cup. You need to be with someone who pours into you just as much as you pour into them. Because when you have that equal pouring, you will not feel depleted.
What you think, True? You agree? It's two different ladies speaking two different things.
I think it's a nice. I didn't know I have to do my research on the first clip as far as the birth order and who you should choose to marry. So that's interesting. I'll add that to my list of things to read for the week. But I think it's also full of nonsense. I think people like to find things that alleviate individuals from developing social skills and what do you call conflict resolution skills. Has nothing to do with birth order, in my opinion. It has a lot to do with a person walking into a relationship willing to serve and willing to be of value. That's just where it starts, and then you develop, communication skills. You assess whom you're with. You assess your own strengths and weaknesses, and vice versa. So I think that it's a cute idea that people like. Oh, you're a Leo, I'm a Scorpio, we match, or you're firstborn, or that's a nice talking point. I don't think there's any validity to it. And then as far as the second video, the lady was just speaking to, I think what I said, just value. Relationships can be complicated, but if you build it from a place of honesty, integrity, and you really are just constantly in the mindset of working towards it functioning well for you two in it, there's nothing you guys can't accomplish. It shouldn't be that serious, that deep. And I'll land.
Well, Miss Boheen?
I completely agree with True. Now, what I will say is that we can take the concept of the birth order and apply it to different people. I don't think that it necessarily tells you anything about a person in particular just by birth order. Because, I'm the baby of the family. But sometimes I have older child energy, oldest child energy. But personally, I do get along with someone who has the older child type of personality, like the nurturer, the giver, because I was nurtured as a kid. I was babied. I was the baby of the family. I was very chaotic. I ran real wild. And so that older child kind of grabs you and, and don't do that. So that sort of energy works well with me. But I also, have that older child, let me get my shit together, make this plan, get things rolling, stuff like that. So it doesn't necessarily apply to everyone, but we can take that same concept and see what type of people other people are like. Are you nurturing? Are you that wild child, that wild middle child? Are you, or the wild baby? We don't know. Anyway, point is, we need to learn how to navigate life based on who we are as like that concept.
Go ahead, Mont. Let me get Pearl in there.
I think a lot of this just has to do with growth. A lot, if you was the first child, you was the last child, you was the middle child. The only thing that these suggest is that if you are the first child, you may have different things to work on than the last child. And if you're the middle child, you may have other problems to work on than what a typical first child or a last child will have. Either way, typically you all got stuff to work on. It's just different. A lot of times the last child is spoiled. A lot of times the first child has to do a lot of things and she don't want no help from nobody. She helped too many people. She keep trying to help everybody. It just means that you got different things to work on. I know when I got with my woman, she was really like her and her brother so far apart. It's like she was the only child. So she had to learn how to really share in a relationship. So that was a process, learning how to like sharing my things and stuff like that, So it just depends on what part, what type of family you come from and things like that. But you learn, depending on your partner and the type of relationship you in, that, oh, snap, I didn't know I was like this. Because a good partner is going to be a mirror. They're going to show you everything about yourself. You may not want to see it, but it's going to come out. And you're going to see what you got to work on. So.
All right, go Miss Pearl.
I agree with both Bo and Mont. I think like what we were initially saying when we very first started this podcast today. Sometimes your birthing order and your parenting, it's not always like if you were born first, second, or third. It has to do with your parenting, but sometimes those correlate because depending on like your parent situation and how you're birthed and like certain gaps and things like that. So even though people try to like, oh, it doesn't matter. Sometimes your birthing order and the way that you're raised, it definitely matters. But then I also believe like what Mon is saying as well, like regardless of when you're born and sometimes even how we're raised, like that's where self-awareness and growth comes in that. Because when you're acknowledging that you have certain traits, you can't give me a disclaimer for your misbehavior. Like if you know that you don't communicate or you don't share well, like you're not just going to come into a particular situation and be like, well, I'm an only child. I told you I was a big baby. It's like, no, because one of the most humbling experiences that all of us have had, regardless of where we've been, is school. Come on, y'all. Like, let's stop playing. When we all went to school, regardless of if you were the oldest, the middle child, wherever you fell, or the youngest, if you were the oldest child and you were a leader, that teacher made you concede. Like, you couldn't lead every time. You couldn't be the focus of attention. You had to share, just like the baby. Can't cry all the time. You're not going to be able to do what you want. You have rules here. Go sit down. The middle child who might not have got that attention or was attention seeking can learn that they can get attention and they don't have to necessarily do things to get negative attention. So again, we talk about real life, right? So again, I don't necessarily think all the time that your birth order. I do think that what Bo and Mine are saying, it meshes. Like depending on when you're born, no matter where you're born, your growth and your maturity when you are presenting yourself in a relationship definitely matters. You can't use these titles because we all have titles. And that's just something we'd be going around in circles all day. So my main 4 things that I would always advise people, regardless of your birth order, is are you just not only attracted to the person and they have attractive qualities, like what's the chemistry like, what's the compatibility like, and then what's the connection like? Because I just said 4 words and all of those are different. But people interchange those. And that's another reason why we have fair relationships outside of your birthing order. Because again, I don't want people to be like, well, I'm a first child and you're a middle child or you're a young child. We're going to work together. That's so like what True was saying. If I'm a Leo and a Scorpio, does that necessarily mean that we're going to be compatible just because of our zodiac signs? Like, knock it off. So I'll land my plane because I don't want to talk too much. I agree with both. I think growth is going to be a determining factor of the success or the failure of your relationship. So I'll land.
All right. Go ahead, Ms. Taken.
I was going to say I 100% agree with Mont, and Miss Pearl just reiterated what he was saying, which is what I also said in the beginning, that I think the environment to me plays a more crucial role than the actual birth order. I do think each birthing order do have different things that they have to contend with. Just looking back, sometimes the first do have to take on a more parenting role if they have siblings. But if you have a situation where, when you were first born and your parents didn't have anything, your experience as that first child may be very different than when the second child come along, where the parents have gathered more, money, housing. So their experience is going to be very different. So that's why I say the environment, to me, plays more of a crucial role on the development of the individual. But those only children, they something special. I tell you that much. Part of that is true with being the only person that's the center of attention. That you do have to develop a different level of let's see, what did Mont say, development, growth, you know my son is the only child, and his mama and parents took care of him very well. But like, again, the environment itself, they also he was also raised with discipline, with morals, with values as well. So those things, I think, will play a more impactful role in a healthy relationship than the birthing order.
Go ahead, Naya.
Okay, yeah, I just think she's talking. I don't really think nobody really followed that, and I think it ultimately goes back to, like everybody's saying, environment. I call it nature and wisdom. Anybody could be perfect for somebody so long they gain enough wisdom through the environment of nature. It's all about like that's, I mean, that's about all I could say about that. I forgot the second video. I don't know what the second video is. It slipped my mind like a candy stick. So I'm gonna stop it there.
Well, my
Maybe
dog
you got
feel
cookie. You got that cookie in your mind. That's what is going on.
Well, I am looking at her right now. She look good. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
no, you ain't joking, dog. Stand on your shit, dog.
Man, that man got the Eddie Murphy laugh, don't he? Go ahead, Cookie. It's on you.
Um, I think that y'all threw me off, man. I think that in theory, that's all fun and games. But I think, like all of the conversations that we had before on the panel, the product of a marriage and children is dictated by the way that the child was raised. I don't believe that it has anything to do necessarily with the order. It's hard to sit there and say, "Oh, all the oldest kids do this and do that," and all the young. I think that's cap. I think that in when you're looking for somebody, whether they're oldest child, middle child, youngest child, although I grew up in a family with 9 kids, I can say that my elder siblings, except for my sister, maybe it was because my dad had 4 sons and then he had 4 daughters. I don't know. But I can tell you this, the dynamic all depends on how that child was raised. And that's why it is so important for people to understand and vet the kind of household that the person grew up in. I don't think automatically because somebody's the youngest child that they're spoiled. My daughter's an only child. Her grandfather was in her life a lot. She's 21 now. She may be materialistically a little bit spoiled, but when it comes to decision making, she's very wise. And that's because she had the village around her. I'm a middle child. I don't feel like I was neglected. If anything, I'm probably the favorite, but but that was because of everything that I accomplished in my life. So I think it's very important to disregard myths and then apply your own knowledge to who it is you want to be with. Because I know a lot of youngest middle kids that are very responsible, just as responsible as any like older siblings. So I feel like this whole no shade to the, I love the content. I feel like the theories in the videos are all mystical. Um because in the end it all comes down to the growth of the human. Maybe if you're dating as teens, that's a thing. But if you're dating as an adult, there's there's growth. There's how you want to live your own life and how you proceed, as how the relationship should be in your own mental, how you react to how you were raised, if there is any trauma. So I just don't think that we should, you know, um, pay too much attention to the, like, well, that should be one of the questions you ask while you're, are you a firstborn? I just don't think, I know some spoiled kids that are assholes and that are bossy because they're spoiled. So, and they could be the only child or the middle child. It just depends on how you were raised, and that goes back to the family and knowing the mom and knowing the dad, and that's where you get the best information and just seeing how that relationship rocks. But I don't believe that the order of birth means too much other than age, and I'll keep it there.
Naya was just taking it all in, Coach Z. I think you're ready. Put them in. Put them in, Coach.
Stop being messy.
Go ahead, Naomi.
So I don't know how to say this. So I didn't really understand her study. Let me be honest with you. I understand the concept of the study that she mentioned, and it kind of makes sense. But I think if we place so much trust in studies that say your order of birth is what dictates a certain level of responsibility and maturity, and that's all you can get at as an adult, I think it goes back to what Miss Pearl was saying about once you get to a certain age, if you're willing, like we're all going to end up having to sit in the same seat. Now, depending on how you were prepared for that seat, your order of birth or your upbringing, the environment, that will tell you, you know, how much work you have to put in to be able to remain in that seat, if that makes sense. And that's what I think if we allow so much of this other so I'm gonna call it nonsense. If we allow so much of this other nonsense, that's an excuse and a lack of accountability of choices that men and women are putting into remain in certain positions of husband and wife, because we are not all the same. We are not all going to move the same. But if you're going to put yourself in a wife position, then be able to not only remain in that position, but cultivate that position will determine the reflection of the amount of work that you'll need to be the wife to that husband. Same thing with a husband. If you're going to be a husband, then the amount of, you know, for order of birth, you know, environment, all of that is going to put you in that position on how much work you'll need to remain in that position. Unfortunately, in today's time, a lot of people, like Hink said, it's a lot of, there's a lack of devotion and loyalty and dedication, that stick with itness. It's so easy now to just get a divorce and say, well, I'm out and you didn't do this. We don't see that anymore. And it's something that's not acknowledged anymore. But if we blame it on the fact of the lack of community, the lack of family, the order of your birth, the mental maturity, if we keep blaming it on all these other outside resources and all of these outside reasons, then we're never going to be able to get back to the, well, what did I do? Where's my responsibility? How do I need to grow? Because stick-withedness is a mindset. And a lot of people are not addressing the fact of the self accountability for our own mindset, and whether grace, mercy, and humility and compromise really play a role in it. Because if we truly want marriage and we don't want to end up being revolving doors, or you don't want to experience revolving doors, then what are you working on to be able to remain in the position and title that you yourself agreed to? Whether it was a husband choosing a wife, or whether it was a wife choosing to align to her husband. And I'll line there. I said a lot of stuff, so I hope that it kind of made sense.
Appreciate that, Naomi. Any final thoughts? Anybody want to say anything with these super chats? Going once.
We had a great talk today. Dang, why everybody get dropped towards the end? It was like this was a decent show. It was like really nice. Feeling the vibe. Thanks, everybody. No points of contention, like no insulting, no childish behavior. Everybody communicated their ideas, was accepted and respected. Kudos.
I did good today, huh?
You did great today, Wo.
Yeah.
Now we gotta give you a little bit of slack, because sometimes people
was looking for that Thursday energy. I see.
Don't do that, Hank. It's Sunday. We chilling.
I know, but you was looking for that Thursday energy. I see.
No, I wasn't. I was I was saying how well we were doing, so we didn't get that Thursday energy. You know what I'm saying? We kept it very holy today.
Shout out to Thursday. Shout out to Thursday.
Look, Hank, you an instigator and a deflector. You're gonna try to put that on me. I did not say that.
Damn.
I'm gonna throw that right back at you, SWAT. You tried it, SWAT.
Super chat. I really don't care. $22, $10. Cookie, I remember what you and your drunk sister were on the show before. What you talking about? You don't qualify for. Be nice.
Wait, what? I didn't see that. What did it say?
Cookie, I remember what you and your drunk sister were on the show before. What you talking about? You don't qualify for.
What does my younger drunk sister have to do with me? Because I defended my sister. That's called loyalty. That has nothing to do with sister code. That was just how we were raised. So who is it? I really don't care. 22. Take that 22 off. That's my basketball number. But you are a bitch for bringing that up.
Oh.
And I came here in peace. I ain't been here in months. So you're really a fucking hoe, actually, for bringing that up.
That's my girl basketball number 2.
Pearl, you spoke too soon.
Brother Noomsy.
Prophecy revealed.
Remember, $5 super sticker. Thank you. Ikene, $2. Cookie, you better grab that handyman off the market. Ikene again, $2. Cookie, if you ain't married, you're single.
That don't matter. I like who I like, and I like good. Trust me on that.
You like good? What does that mean?
That mean I don't. When I like somebody, that I mean that I'm not. I ain't gotta. Whatever y'all talking about don't matter to me. He a good dude, and he fine as fuck. So whatever y'all talking about don't really matter. It's the shocker. The fact that y'all in my DMs is the real problem. Stay out my fucking DMs before you can whoop y'all ass. How about that?
Okay, so what makes a man fine? That's F.
His body, his mind, the way he treat me, all of that. Fine, sexy, and cute are three different things to me. Cute is just your face. Sexy is just your body. Fine is all of it. I'm from the 90s. Don't fuck around with me.
All right, there you go. Mr. HD, remember for 41 months. Salute to you, sir. Thank you. Okay. Well, y'all make sure y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. If you're a Chicago Bears fan, we come in peace.
Go Texans.
No. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. We out.